Yo, 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 what's happening? What's happening, y'all? It's me coming back at you again with another live stream vid. Before I get started, I'm going to go ahead and send in this link so I can get some people to join me so we can talk about this. Just give me a minute here. Sound levels are good. Excuse me. Sound levels are good. Open hyperlink. No, that's not what I wanted to do. No, 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 no. What up, Ahmed? What up? What up? What up? Just give me a minute. Edit hyperlink. There we go. Copy. Then I'm just go ahead and send it in the chat so people can come on and join me. Come on. Load up. Load up. All right, let me just go ahead and read. There we go. Maybe I should just send the link in early before I got started, but it's all good and gravy. So let me go ahead and post this link in the chat. Come on. Yeah, we're going to talk about a few things here. We're going to talk about the reasoning on why Arum and Warren were asking for proof of funds for the Fury and Joshua fight to be staged in Saudi Arabia. We're also going to talk about a couple of interesting fights that took place today in the sport of boxing. I mean, there's another card left, which is the PBC, which is about to start probably anytime soon now. It's going to be Luis Nery versus Brandon Figueroa, which should be a very good fight. So, can't wait to tune into for that. We're going to talk about a very somewhat bizarre heavyweight contest that took place in Germany, I believe. It was between Christopher Lovejoy versus Manuel Char, who's currently going into the fight is the WBA regular champion in recess. Very interesting. Very interesting to say the least. But yeah, I think that's we're going to talk about that. But first things first, before I get into Joshua and uh, and the Fury financial challenges that they face to trying to bankroll the fight in Saudi Arabia. And the destination, it was first initially reported to be Jeddah. Now it's Riyadh. So it's all over the place. So we don't know what's going on with that. But before I get into that, um, let's talk about the fights. Um, so let's start with the Christopher Lovejoy fight versus Manuel Char that took place in Germany. So Christopher Lovejoy comes into the fight totally out of shape. He never been the body Adonis type of guy anyway. Totally out of shape. Didn't look like he wanted to be here. His body language was totally, I don't know. He just was pretty much in there trying to get a payday. That's all it is. He came into the fight with 19-0 with 19 KOs. But on paper that looked pretty impressive, right? Well, apparently there's more to that 19-0 record than what it says from the surface. If you look closely to that record, Christopher Lovejoy fought and knocked out a lot of his opponents with losing records. He didn't fight one guy. He didn't beat one guy with a winning record. I could be wrong. I have to go back and check. But I looked at that. I glanced at it. He didn't beat one guy with a winning record. All the opposition that he faced was extremely poor. Not one single French contender. Nobody that I recognize on that resume. So yeah, he then all of a sudden he was getting ranked by the WBA, and I think he also got a ranking by the WBO at one point. So it was bizarre how this guy was climbing up into the rankings of the sanctioned body. Yeah, he was fighting a lot of journeymen, who had like terrible losing records. I mean, to say the least. So, but anyways, his big test was against Manuel Char. He goes into the fight. This fight only lasted 2 rounds, so mind you guys, it only lasted 2 rounds. So Mayo Char, looked pretty good. He looked, in good condition. He was, displaying the fundamentals. He's working behind the jab. He was trying to give Lovejoy some angles to confuse him, which he did. And then next, he started to launch a barrage of hooks and body punches into the second round when he trapped um, Lovejoy in a neutral corner into the corner, and then he put him down. I think he put him down with a left hook to the body. And then next, Lovejoy didn't get up and that was it. And what's bizarre about this is that at the end of the fight, Manuel Char does a cartwheel, and I mean, he's done it before in fights in the past. I think he did a cartwheel at like in one of the rounds. I think it was one of the seventh round, I believe, when he fought Alex Leopi several years ago. So he did a cartwheel, but he kind of slipped too when he did it. So I mean, thank God he didn't hit his head, but it was kind of funny though. I mean, yeah, it was kind of a bizarre 2 round fight. Lovejoy, like I said, he came in out of shape. He didn't know what he was doing. He looked very confused because he's not used to guys who were giving him angles, who was showing some technical ability. He just didn't know how to react to feints. He just looked very confused fighter in there. So, and there's also an interesting point to make here is that Don King even threatened an injunction if Lovejoy was to go through with the fight with Charles. So apparently that was an empty threat. He was still able to pursue with the fight, and there it is. So I think it's safe to say that we won't be seeing Christopher Lovejoy again after that fight. I know at one point he briefly retired, and then he came back because he got an opportunity. Maybe this was his biggest payday. I'm not sure what his purse was, but um, I don't know, man. I think at this point, yeah, we weren't going to yeah, we're not going to see him again. So, yeah, I think you could say good riddance. But look, nothing against the guy. He seems like a cool guy to me. He probably is, but uh, again, it's like when you haven't been tested and you've been trying to get into big fights without a proper test, then that would open up a window of criticism. So yeah, that's the spiel on that. So I'm live, guys. Jump in. Hold on, guys. I'm live. Jump in. All right. So moving on. We have Joshua Buatsi versus Dos Santos. Very interesting fight. Dos Santos is a Frenchman coming from France. Yeah, a Frenchman. Yeah, obviously he's coming from France. But let me tell you something about this particular fight that I noticed. Buatsi is not a big light heavyweight. He's pretty small to be at. I'm not saying small, small, but he is not a big light heavyweight. He can easily make 168 if he chooses to. So that's how small of a light heavyweight that he is. And same thing goes for Dos Santos as well. Um, I guess it was obviously it was Joshua Watsi's fight. He controlled the pace. He dictated the fight. He was placing, he was displaying good technical ability that he does. But I would say though, for the probably one of the first time I've seen him, he's actually was working better behind the jab. Of course, that's due to the coaching of Virgil Hunter. So shout out to him. So but obviously, I think it was in the third round when things kind of got a little rough. I think they were in the clinches, and Dos Santos threw Buatsi down to the ground. With no, it wasn't intentional, but then Buatsi didn't take light to that. He actually got up real quickly, and then he walked into his face and tried to intimidate. Buatsi got very upset. And there was one thing one of the commentators said about Buatsi is he's a very nice guy, very easy to get along with. He's one of the most respectful people that you ever meet, but is just like one of those guys that if you piss him off, he's gonna snap at you. So you got to be very wary about that. So that's how Joshua Buatsi is. So anyhow, they resume the fight. Fourth round comes. Buatsi hits him with a crunching right, and DeSanto was out. I mean, he was out cold. And at the point when they was reviving him, one of the I think the paramedics or the one of the paramedic assistants was asking him some questions. You could say they're silly questions, stupid questions, but he told DeSantis, "Look, there may be stupid questions, but I have to ask you to make sure that you're okay." So DeSantos was getting irritated. Yes, he answered the questions, but he did understand at the end that they were just trying to make sure that he still had some sense of well-being after being knocked out the way he did. So, yeah. So I mean, yeah, okay. Buatsi, all right. He's being active, so he's supposed to be back pretty soon. He'll be back around July 17th, where we've been told. So he'll be back in the ring for in the next 2 months. So yeah. So hey, what's up, EJ?
Yo, what's up, Dan? Yo, what's up, people in the chat? Yo, man, I'll just like, yeah, come over, support. I know you
Yeah.
chopping out about Joshua Buatsi. I just heard he fight another bum. He needs to step up. And that knockdown came off the Joshua Buatsi looked like he was gonna fight the guy. The guy's giving him American football tackle. And
Yeah.
Joshua Buatsi, he was upset and he went back to his corner and credit to Virgil Hill. He said fate to the body, came
Right.
over him right. And Joshua Buatsi was praying and everything, wishing the guy was okay. But when you hit the man with the first shot, why you hit him again when he was going down? You know
Well,
what
I
I'm saying?
mean,
Trying to
yeah.
kill the kid, bro. He trying to kill the kid for
Well,
getting him back.
I think he was
Yeah,
still mad after what happened in that
yeah,
in the last round because Dos Santos threw him to the ground and he threw him very hard, but I don't think it was intentional. I mean, because Dos
oh yeah,
Santos
it
was
was intentional. Oh yeah, it was intentional. Because
nah, it wasn't intentional.
he's got no Joshua Watson's got a nasty streak, but you got to understand this
Yeah,
guy was made to order. It was for
yeah,
Joshua Watson to showcase himself with Virgil Hunter, and I don't see nothing different. I don't
yeah,
see Virgil doing anything different because it's hard to tell because I don't care if that guy was on the field. I ain't never heard of the guy. I mean, I'm
yeah,
watching the fight. I'm like, yo, shit. To be fair, Joshua Watson was probably more excited with his old coach because he was
yeah,
getting hit more. But with Virgil, he didn't get hit. He barely got hit and he wiped the
yeah,
guy out. So now
yeah,
it's time for okay, you do that now. So now it's time to step up. What's up to D Stars in the chat?
yeah. What's
You
up to
know,
D Style and
yeah,
her man?
what's up, cheeky Hamed from Wells?
Here we go, man. Don't
Always,
start with me.
always causing trouble, like always causing trouble, like. But Hamid's okay. But listen, no. But what I'm saying is that no, I just had enough of I don't want to see no. I don't want to see no. I don't care if the guy's on the feet. Give me an opponent that
Okay,
we know. You know what I'm saying? Step up.
okay.
Yeah,
Well,
go ahead.
yeah, Hamed brought up a good point there. Now it's time to step up. Callum Johnson, Anthony Yard, Craig Richards, Hosea Burton. What do you
Yeah.
think?
Nah, he gonna skip all them. He gonna skip all them. He gonna find another bum. He gonna find another bum. They gonna milk him another bum because Joshua Waxy, if you look at him, he's very small
A light
for.
heavyweight. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he
He's
should be a
very
super
small.
middleweight. To me,
Yeah,
I feel he should be a super middleweight, and he'd be better at that division. But he makes light heavy, and that's the one they put him in. And I just look at him. He looks like a knockout weight in his neck.
yeah,
I look around his neck. He hasn't got his necky. Mike Tyson used to do them neck exercises to
yeah. He
make his
doesn't
neck
have
durable.
enough. Yeah, he
No,
doesn't have.
he
He
don't get
doesn't have his.
his whole
Yep.
body. His whole
Yeah,
body looks like he just looks small. You know what I
yeah,
mean? He might, and his skill set. He's very upright. He don't
yeah,
move. Lateral movement, and you fighting guys that you're supposed to win. Like there's never a fight that I've seen him in. Like you gonna lose this fight. Like these are all guys made the order for you to win. So when we step up, then
yeah.
I can critique. But I'm like, I can't. That fight wasn't supposed to be the main event. They had some woman who was supposed to fight Terry Harper. She injured herself, so
Yeah,
that's
she was
probably
supposed to
why.
fight. She was supposed to fight Yu Ming Choi. That was supposed
Yeah,
to be in the main event. That was the fight I wanted to see, but then she.
really?
Yeah,
Why? Who's the guy? Who's Troy? Who's her?
Choi is the WBA super featherweight champion. She's from South Korea. She's very good. She fought on the zone undercard what a few months ago. She's very
Man,
good. I've seen her a few fights in South Korea. She's very good.
I ain't
She's a
never
very
tried.
good. She's a very good body
She
puncher. She's
if she was
yeah,
very good, that's why they pulled out and act like she got a broken hand. Then you know what happened there. That
yeah,
means she faked the breaking. She faked the broken hand to get her
yeah,
ass out of there. That just shows you because
yeah,
Eddie Hearn be faking it till he makes it.
yeah.
I'm still waiting for the X-rays for Billy Joe Sauna's eye.
Ah man, I know. Hey,
Yeah, I'm still waiting.
Joe's bees. He'll be coming in pretty soon. We're probably going to talk about that.
Uh,
Yeah, let's talk about it. Hey, before we talk about that, shout out to Marshall Smurder in the chat. He said, yeah, he just subbed to my channel. I appreciate that, brother. I really do. He said that Buatsi does need decent name next time out. No more of these. Pretty much like you said, no more of these journeymen.
bums. Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
funny though. It's kind of like Anthony Hart got the same criticism,
And he go, yeah, and and the whole thing was them is like, oh, he's old. I mean, that was the worst matchmaking ever. Like, if you really want to fight, you should have fought Pascal. Like, let me tell you something.
yeah,
Boxing, there's no shame in losing, but competing in fights that gonna get you ready. See, my whole thing is this, right? When I have my guys fighting the amateurs, right?
yeah,
I have to take them to different gyms. And it's a respect thing with other amateur fighters, especially
yeah,
amateur fighters are good. That my guy could get his ass whipped. Like
right,
every time my guy goes in there, he might get his ass whipped in the amateur gyms in sparring.
yeah,
So if he gets good sparring and he's gonna get quality sparring against these guys, because these guys got their own career, they're trying to whip your ass as well, right? So
yeah,
when my guy wins or does well, does bad, or works on the stuff I told him, when I put him into an amateur bout, the stuff that happened in that is going to help him in the fight where
yeah,
these guys are coming to fight you. Now, these fights, Andy Yardo's fights and Joshua Buatsi, how are they going to get you ready for the top tier light heavyweight champion or Andy Yard? Like, none of them fights are getting ready because these guys don't even want to fight each other. You know what I
right.
mean? And even if they fight each other, Dan, Yard versus Buatsi, Yard versus Craig Richards, Yard versus Callum. How's that going to get you ready for better beef? That ain't going to get you ready for better beef or
Nah,
Bivol.
nah,
See what I'm saying? So
nah.
there's no the only way you
Well,
can
to
get
be
ready for.
fair,
Go
to
ahead.
be fair though, real quickly, Craig Richards fought Bivol the other a couple weeks ago. He did a pretty good job against
He could have
Bivol, even
won
though
the
he lost.
fight. He could have won the
Yeah,
fight, but he never believed in himself. He
yeah,
never
that's true.
believed
He
in himself.
he did mention that. He did say himself that look, if I had a little bit more self belief, I could have won
Yeah,
that
well, so why
fight.
you take the so why you take the fight? Why see what I'm saying? You took the fight for see what I'm gonna say to you. So you're taking
Yeah,
the fight and you never really believed in yourself. If you believe, see why are you taking the fight? Like you faking the funk, bro. And what I'm trying to say to you is that in boxing, you
yeah,
take fights. You look at Hagler, right? You take
yeah,
fights, minimal fights, to get you ready in good stead. That when I get on the world scene, I can deliver. And I'm
right.
saying to you that those Joshua Buatsi in these bum fights that he's in, and these bum fights. That's why some of the UK guys are getting turned over. They're getting turned over at the top. That's why they all getting wasted. Man. And people are like, oh shit, think he lost. I was like, yeah, they're gonna lose because Eddie ain't building the guys properly. You supposed to fight before you fight a world contender, right? You're
Yes,
supposed to fight a former world champion, on the slide. That's what you're supposed to do, and that will put you in good stead to
yeah.
help you because he's been a champion and he's got a lot of wealth of experience and he's gonna come to win. And you hopefully you win, but you learn a lot, and that might put you in good stead to go forward to try and do that. And that's what guys are not doing. Guys are not even fighting former world champions. In fact, they're avoiding them. That's the mistake.
Well, you know
People.
what I think Hearn, to your point though, I think Hearn, what he's trying to do is he's trying to replicate that success that he had with Anthony Joshua. But Anthony Joshua is a special type of fighter. I mean, you can't. I think this is a lesson learned. Probably have to. This is something he needs to understand. Even though you have an up and coming fighter, he may be a decorated amateur, but you can't just put that far when you put him on the pro, on the world level, on pro level scene. You can't just have them fight domestic level opposition, then jump right into world level after that, like Joshua did. You can't do that because Joshua was a special type of fighter, like I mentioned. He had the tools. He has a self belief. So there's a difference. I'm not saying these guys don't have self beliefs. They just don't have the tools to make that type of a step up. You see what I'm saying?
Mm,
So, but yeah, to your point, yeah, I agree with you saying there, man. Boazzi, he definitely needs to step it up now. It's time. What he's at 14 fights in now,
mm,
15.
mm,
So yeah, it's time for him to step up now. We'll be interested to see who they put him in the ring with next. So Marshall Smurder said that he needs a litmus test, someone who's gonna show different looks and drag a man deep. He ain't ready for Bivol though. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But like I said though, Craig Richards, I didn't think he was ready for the Bivol fight when they first announced it. I thought that was suicide for Hearn to make that fight for Craig Richards because Craig Richards, this is like I say, he's trying to get guys who are fighting decent domestic level opposition. They become victorious, and then they put him in world title fights, like he did with Callum Johnson against Proturbia. Like he, you know,
Yo, see there you go. Who did
yeah,
who did Callum Johnson win? He beat Frank Bilioni
yeah.
domestic. So
Well, I
why
got
how's that gonna get you ready for you see the thing is right? Let me
yeah,
tell you what happens, Dan. The
yeah,
networks, right? Right? They realize Eddie Hearn's got a whole heap of UK bums
yeah,
waiting on the wings, right? And the Eddie Hearn's connected and like they're like, yo, we need an opponent. Eddie, who you got? And Eddie's like, well, I've got Callum Johnson. Oh yeah, we'll take him because they know he's not on the world scene. So Eddie's got all this Cadam follower giving these guys opportunities, but they never gonna win shit, man. So
yeah.
Eddie's like, he's got a lot of guys on the roster, but the thing is, they tell them, look, you're gonna be your biggest ever payday. That's Eddie's big thing. It's gonna be your biggest payday. Oh yeah, you're gonna be your biggest payday, but you're gonna get your ass whipped on the world scene, bro. Oh, but if you lose, you can come back again. Man, I ain't trying to lose nowhere. Hell no. Give me, you know what I'm saying? Like you get your ass whipped, man. Yo, look at this, right?
Uh-huh.
And this is Josh Warrington's fault. Josh Warrington decided to vacate the belt rather than fight Kid Gallagher, right? Vacate the belt that he worked hard to get from Lee Selby, right?
Right.
Beat Carl Frampton, beat Kid Gallagher, right? And
Yeah.
he's like, yo, I ain't fighting that guy again. Why not? You beat him already, beat him again. Yo, nah, the fans won't want to see that. I'm gonna vacate the belt. I want to fight a Mexican because I'm a Mexican. I'm a Mexican. In my heart, I'm a Mexican as well. So Eddie, give me any Mexican from Mexico.
Yeah.
Yo, you see how that went, right?
Whoa. Well, yeah,
Yo,
we saw
you
that
see how that
one.
went. Yeah, you see how
Yeah.
that went, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, again, that goes back to my point. I think he's trying to replicate the success of some of these fighters with Anthony, like Anthony Joshua had when he went from domestic to world level, and look where he's at right now. So, look, I'm not like I said, Anthony Joshua is a different type of fighter. Dillian White, well, actually, Dillian White actually did it the right way. He moved him in the right direction. He went from domestic to world level to European. I mean, domestic to to European level and now into world level. So yeah. So Marshall says that look, if there's if there are only more of Marvin Hagler mentality of war, but off topic, who do you think will win between Joe Kazaki in his day in his prime versus Canelo Alvarez? I saw a channel that brought this up. Actually, yeah, I'm not gonna mention. I know who brought it up. I know people don't like him, but it was it was an interesting topic though. I honestly think that Joe Kawasaki would beat Canelo Alvarez. I think Canelo Alvarez would have avoided Joe Kawasaki. He was a much bigger guy, much faster hands, much I'm not power gap I don't know, but he definitely had the speed and he just gave you so many awkward different angles. You just couldn't time Joe Kawasaki. I mean, it takes a special fight. I mean, to be fair, Canelo could time him, but I don't think Canelo was gonna could win that fight. I think Kawasaki had the upper hand. I mean, that's just my opinion on it. Um, so let me see. Marshall also said that my pal Frank Pineloni fought Andrew Robinson, the Animal Robinson. Yeah, I heard of Andrew Robinson. I know you know Andrew. Okay, cool. AJ, you heard of Andrew? You know Andrew Robinson?
Who's that? Who's that?
He's called the Animal. He fought Frank Pineloni on domestic level one time.
Nah, I ain't heard of that
All
dude.
right, all right, fair enough, fair enough. But
I would answer the question about Canelo versus Joe
go,
Kawasaki. That's the
yeah,
one, y'all.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Canelo could beat Joe Kawasaki. Hell yeah, he could beat Joe Kawasaki.
You think? Well, who do you think is gonna win though? Who do you think is gonna win?
Well, I think it's up to Joe. If Joe wants to box all night and
Yeah,
do his hand speed and
yeah.
flick, yeah, he can win that. Yeah, yeah. But
Okay.
Joe tried to get a bit brave, innit? When he try to
Yeah,
get brave and Canelo move his head, Canelo he gonna put him on his ass, bro.
yeah,
Canelo hits in such a way that he can break, blood vessels start swelling up. And
yeah,
Bernard Hopkins dropped him, Roy Jones dropped him, and he been dropped multiple times, and he stayed away from America until them guys were old and he jumped on the plane. He said,
yeah.
I don't like planes. That's why he never went over to
Yeah,
America,
he was
right?
avoiding all those other
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
like Glenn
So now
Johnson.
smoke. So
Yeah,
now smoke came. Yeah, he didn't want it, and then he go over there and beat him. And then when Carl Froch was ready and he was there, nah, he won't fight Carl Froch. He said, nah, I ain't fighting Carl Froch. Know what I mean? So
yeah,
so if you're talking about prime for prime, and you got Canelo Alvarez, I'm going with Canelo. I'll take Canelo. I think Canelo could
uh,
win, but I think it would have to be Joe's mistake if Joe tries to go in for the knockout or tries to embarrass him.
yeah,
You know what I mean? But I think if Joe just boxes, yeah, he could win. But I think he can go either way. If Canelo can catch him, because look at Billy Joe Saunders, right? A
yeah,
southpaw. Canelo does all right. Does okay. He's got better at southpaws.
yeah,
See, Canelo's key thing is the head movement.
yeah.
And and
True.
and and he's economical with the punches. And with Joe throwing on them rat tat tat fast punches, Canelo has to time him. Bang! Only Canelo is one punch in the right place, the right time, and it wounds you. He
Yeah,
can break orbital bones. Even
break your
Austin Trout, I
ribs.
thought,
He can
yeah,
break your ribs.
He
Yep.
dropped Austin Trout with a wicked shot. Even though I thought Austin Trout won the fight, but when it comes down to it, Canelo hit, clean, effective shot. He hits hard, and even the Lara fight, I had him winning Lara fight. Some people don't, they got Lara winning the fight.
Yeah.
In the day he was in the fight. The Mayweather fight was the one that said, "Yo, okay." From that I learned, and this kid, he's like he comes like the Matrix, bro. Like
Yeah.
every time you fight him, he adjusts. So the Joe Kazaki fight, yo, and I got Canelo already. As he looks like he's gonna be one of the top welterweights,
Yeah.
because I put in the super middleweight. He's only been around from like I think 97 or 87, and I
Yeah.
think right now already he's already in the top 10 of the greatest super middleweights, and I think he could. I think Roy Jones would beat him. I think
Uh-huh.
Michael Nunn would beat him. I think Gerald McClellan would beat him. But they're very good boxer punchers, right? But if
Yeah.
you're not a very supreme boxer puncher with hard punch, I think everyone else. Ben would be in a hard fight with him. I think Steve Collins would be in a hard fight with him.
What about
I
Chris
believe.
Eubank Sr.?
Yeah, hell
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be a hard fight with him. So see, if you talk about all the top 10, of super middleweights, Andre Ward would be in a hard
Oh
fight with
yeah.
Canelo.
Andre
Andre
Ward would have
Ward would be
beaten
in
him.
a hard fight with Canelo.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Carl Froch, yeah, he'd be a hard because he moves his head. He ain't
Yeah.
standing there like, and he can hit. So I believe that he right now when if he can beat what's his name, Caleb Plant, and he
Yeah.
can defend the belts, I think he's gonna be right up there in one of the greatest super middleweights of all time.
Maybe he's in that conversation. If he could get the Plant win and then he can get the Benavides win, then yeah, you could probably put him in that conversation. So I don't see no problem with that.
Mhm.
Um, but speaking of Kawasaki though, yeah, the Brian Mitchell fight. Oh man, how could I not forget that fight? Even though it lasted only 3 rounds. a slugfest, and it was surprising to me that Jalzaki got dragged into a slugfest with Brian Mitchell because he could have got knocked out in that fight.
Mhm,
But he got up, like you said, Marshall. He got back up and he came back and stopped Brian Mitchell. So,
mhm,
and
mhm,
we all know Brian Mitchell was a human punching bag throughout his career. No disrespect to Brian Mitchell, but that's exactly what he was. So, um, yeah, and he also said that adaptability is Joe Kawasaki's middle name, so he can adapt just like Canelo could as well. So, I mean, it's an even fight, but me personally, I'm going to lean towards Kawasaki. But to EJ's point, you did bring up a good point about Canelo. Yes, he's a pressure fighter, but he doesn't sit there in the pocket and not. He's not willing to sit there and trade. He's not willing to sit there and take and give back. He did that. He learned that lesson after the Mayweather fight because that's what he was doing early in his career. He would sit there in the pocket. He'll take whatever he could, and he'll come back at you with a harder shot. So he would what Canelo would do now is he'll go ahead and put his shots in the pocket, then he'll come back out and move his head. So then get away from those shots. So and roll off of them. Let me see. Yeah, speaking of Billy Joe Saunders, um, this need to be pointed out, and this is very very strange, bizarre. We all know Billy Joe Saunders quit. Is he a quitter? Quitter? No, he's not a quitter. Quitter. We believe he's a prideful fighter, but he did quit. And he quit for the right reasons. You don't want to go blind. I get it. You got to preserve your safety and your health. I get it. But the criticism is warranted because he went after and he ridiculed other fighters for going out the same way he did. Daniel Dubois, an excellent example. Who else? I think he went after Kell Brook when he quit against Earl Spence. I could be wrong. But
yeah.
he ridiculed other fighters for doing who quit in the same fashion that he did. The difference is Daniel Dubois had that injury in the third round and he kept on fighting for 7 more rounds.
Mhm, mhm,
So, and Billy deserves the criticism. So now that Mark Tibbs was giving these round of interviews with Beyond the Gloves and IFL right after the fight, Mark Tibbs came out and said, "Look, I stopped the fight because I asked him how's his eye. He said he couldn't see, and I asked him, can he go another round? Paraphrasing what he asked him, he said that yeah, he said he didn't give him the answer that he was looking for, so that's why he waived the fight. Now, some people argue he waived the fight, and Billy Joe didn't say he quit, but the thing is, Billy Joe didn't even protest that him stopping the fight. He didn't protest.
mhm,
He didn't. He didn't have any indication that he wanted to go on after that eighth round. He had no indication of that. He walked out of the ring, didn't do an interview. He just left. So the fact is this: that the point is this, though. Going back to the Mark Tibbs situation, ever since Mark Tibbs was given his interview about what happened after the fight, those interviews have been taken down. They've been deleted. And then all of a sudden, Mark Tibbs's scheduled interviews with a talk radio show has been canceled all of a sudden. So I don't know what's going on with that. Now you got Ben Davison coming out and saying that, trying to contradict Mark Tibbs, saying no, Billy Joe didn't quit. He didn't want to quit. So I don't know, man. What's your take on it? Are they trying to salvage Billy Joe's reputation, save him from the ridicule? You think that's what's been going on?
yeah, yeah. My man Marshall talking about YB.
Oh yeah,
YB,
YB.
he be on their ass, bro.
Yeah,
YB be on their ass with the whole Mark Tibbs. Yeah, yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Look, the whole quit, the propaganda,
yeah,
getting rid of the videos and everything like that. Like we didn't see him quit. In America,
yeah,
we quit. It's no big thing. You know what I mean? I know you got some sports writers in America saying he didn't quit and he's a brave guy and all that shit.
yeah.
You got people like Maddox, Chris Maddox. Chris Maddox, yeah, he makes me laugh though. Cause I heard Chris Maddox the other day. He goes, yeah, he got slayed on Twitter, bro. Maddox keep getting killed. Him and what's his name? Todd
Sergio
Grisham.
Marchi.
Todd,
Yeah,
no, no, no,
Todd
Todd
Grisham.
Grisham.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two of them be making chatting. They're like WWE guys, bro. They
Well,
be talking.
Todd Grisham is a former
I know, I
WWE
know, I know,
guy.
I know. But Maddox should have been he should have been in WWE because some of the statements he comes, even what's his name in the Latin Snake, he be looking
Sergio
at him
Morris.
sideways like,
Yeah,
yeah, he be looking at him sideways, bro. So Maddox be talking crazy, but
yeah,
he's scored like Maddox is like the zone
yeah,
making the zone look like a joke, right? So,
yeah,
but him going back to the way they conduct themselves, yeah, you quit, bro. Ain't no big thing, bro. Take it
yeah,
on the back, but the thing in the whole propaganda trying to make us believe that Ben Davis coming out and act like he was bro. You weren't even the head trainer.
he
Why?
wasn't
Why
even
are you
in the
talking?
corner. I mean,
Yo,
yeah,
you
that's
was
what I'm trying to figure
why
out.
you
Yeah,
why, yeah, but you got sacked. You got sacked by Billy Joe. Mark Tibbs came in. All right, Mark Tibbs has been there, and all of a sudden, Billy Joe. It's like they brought Ben Davis in. They told Mark Tibbs, and Mark Tibbs, Daniel Dubois left Mark Tibbs as well. He's gone with Shane McGuigan and the McGuigans, right?
Yeah,
And it's like Mark Tibbs is. He seemed like he's like they're after They're after the Mark Tibbs for telling the truth. The man,
yeah,
we saw it. We saw it. Mark Tibbs at the interview, he goes, I didn't get the answers I wanted, so I had to pull him out. I had to pull him out. He's a brave guy. Go, you didn't get the. He goes,
yeah,
bruv. He goes, what? You want to continue? Because most guys want to fight through that.
yeah,
Dillian White and some of them guys there. Some of them guys, they're like, nah. I'm not quitting. Quitting what? What were you mad? They're like they're too proud. I've been with some amateur fighters where
yeah,
they come back into the corner, right? One of them
yeah,
said to me, "Yo, coach, I can't see one of my eye." And I
yeah.
said, "Yo," I said to him, I didn't even think about quitting. I said to them,
What's up?
I said to,
No, go on, go on. I'm sorry. Hey, what's up, Babe?
Listen, EJ, I'm a little surprised you didn't pick up on this in the corner. He nodded his head no 3 times and mouthed the word no. He was asked 3 questions. He shook his head no after each question, and at the last one, he mouthed the word no. And there's no shame in that. But the fact that they just can't report it the way it happened and they have to protect this guy is beyond, it's just beyond comprehension. They took all the videos down, but they didn't take the ones about Daniel Dubois getting his ass roasted by all the fighters. It's no secret that Kugan Cassius is very close friends with Billy Joe Saunders. It's no secret that IFL TV does not have a relationship with MTK Global, or did not have a relationship with MK Global, TK Global. So we already know what's going on here. But it's just the fact that they have to play cover up for this guy. And there's no shame in what he did. As unlikable as the guy is, doesn't deserve to go blind in his eye, doesn't deserve to have brain damage. But the lengths that these people are going to try to put out a narrative that just is totally false is ridiculous. He nodded his head no in the corner 3 times. Now Ben Davidson's trying to say, oh, he nodded his head no because he said, no, don't stop it. It's getting beyond ridiculousness now.
hold
Okay?
up, Beeb. You let me finish what I was saying, but like, yeah.
I
So
always interrupt you. That's what I do on here. That's my
no,
job.
but
I do not
Beeb,
interrupt you.
yeah, but that's cool. But you're basically agreeing with me, so
I am.
We said, yeah.
I have to give you stick, though. I have to give you stick. I always give you stick.
I don't know why, but yeah. So I said, I go. No, that's cool. But I said to my amateur fighter in the corner, right? He said, I can't coach. I can't see one eye. And I said to him, well, cover up the eye and move your head. You know what I mean? My other coach said, no, the other coach said, pull him out. I said, nah, he ain't going to pull him out because he needs to get through certain things. And he went back in there, he moved his head, and he came out the round. He thanked me. And I said, yeah, because I never in my mind said to my fighter, oh, you can't see. Oh, shit, I start panicking because this is the game they're in. He got hit. He needs to move his head. And the same with Billy Joe. So Billy Joe, one of his eyes was closed, right? We've seen loads of fighters. Fernando Vargas was the worst against Shane Mosley. We've seen guys with worse eyes than that. Even Badu Jack with that big split in the middle of his head. He said, he wasn't even thinking about quitting. He was like, I'm going back out there. I got to leave it to the doctor. I let the doctors or whatever. Marvin Hagler cut against Tommy Hearns. He was like,
I would have quit. I would have quit. I would have quit if my
I wouldn't even. They wouldn't even think about beat. You see, Billy Joe. Billy Joe wasn't about it because every time he'd been out there, he'd been the A side, and in that fight, that's why he went the ring size and all these things. And when he didn't get things his way, the first sort of adversity he got in his whole career, he sat down on his stool and he got pulled out. And Ben,
I would have quit too if I was him. Let
me tell you that, BB. Do you believe, right? Do you believe that the damage to the eye? Because I haven't seen the medical reports yet.
I have. I've seen them.
Okay, you seen them yet? Where you see
them? They had a doctor show
on YouTube. One on YouTube. The doctor on YouTube.
No, it was on Twitter. They showed a picture of the actual operation. But now people are saying they're questioning whether or not he got the surgery or not.
Yeah, because Eddie Hearn. See, the thing is, right? This is how deep the propaganda. See, you mentioned IFL. The IFL work for MTK. Kugan is going out with Billy Joe's cousin. Right? That's how deep it goes. Michelle Joy Phelps works for MTK. Bright, what's his name again? Thingy
Does a
Joe.
lot of she does a lot of other things for MTK, but we're not going to get into that.
No, we get into it. No, I'll tell you straight out, bro. It's on Dan's channel. I'll tell you straight out, bro.
You like that? I did. You like it?
Yeah, I'm on it, bro. They all Sam Jones. His company is owned by MTK, so they have all the media. Then they have most of the fighters who work for him, and then you had, Spencer Fearon and all the guys who work for MTK. So if you notice all the video list of all MT guys, he didn't quit. Who are you telling? Like, bro, you got people like YB and in the UK. I'll just say straight out, yeah, he quit. Ain't nothing to do with it. But people are scared to say he quit because MTK
is the mafia.
No, yeah, they'll come knocking on your door. Literally, I'm not even joking. Even in America, right? Certain sports writers won't say it, right? Because I think someone for the Ring magazine put a tweet out, and they went after him as well. So no one's allowed to say that Billy Joe quit because Billy Joe is affiliated with these boys deep, and them boys from that thing don't quit. From where they come from, listen, them people, them gangsters. They don't utter them words from their lips. They don't quit.
Well,
so
let me just say this. Let me say this real quickly. Part of that is due to the fact that I heard Joe B's video this morning. You made up a good point, Joe. Is that most of these outlets, these independent media outlets, they don't want to lose their access. That's the reason why they did what they did. They had to do NTK Global's bidding to take down the videos, so that way they could continue to have access and to continue to get bankrolled, as you want to call it, because you don't want to kill. Other words, people say you don't want to bite off the hand that feeds you now. So that's in this instance, that's what this is about, in my view. But I just think that, I did think that, to me, this is just shout out to YB too, by the way. But this is ridiculous because, like, to these points, like, dude, how the hell could they sit here and trash Daniel Dubois for what happened to him against Joe Joyce, and yet they're trying to protect Billy Joe Saunders for the same injury? And what makes things much worse is that Saunders didn't even want to fight after he sustained the injury in one round. He didn't even wanted to fight on. Dubois did.
If I was Mark Tibbs and I was in that corner, I wouldn't even have asked him a question. I would have said, "Son, let's just pack this in. I don't want you to go blind in your eye. I don't want you to go out there, face this monster with one eye, your lead eye. He's hitting you. He'll be able to hit you at will. I can't send you out there like this." And I would have just stopped it. There wouldn't even have been any questions. That's what I do. I broke my nose in sparring before. I fractured a rib in sparring before. You think I'm going to go out on my shield? No. What's the sense? I don't want my rib to be separated. I'd rather walk away with the hairline fracture. I don't want my nose to be shattered and have a deviated septum and I breathe. I can't even get sleep apnea the rest of my life. No, I pull myself out.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not ashamed to say it.
Right.
I'm not ashamed to say it.
Yeah, I hear you, dog. Look, like I said, though,
but Beeb, you wasn't the one talking reckless before the fight. You wasn't the one saying you need to go out your shield. You were the one saying you don't want to go blind.
I still don't want to go blind, though.
All that, but you were not the one saying you need to go out on your shield. Billy Joe Saunders talk hella reckless before the fight, and he said he's a fighting man, and for my community, we don't quit. So I understand that. But you never talk reckless before the sparring, and none of
never.
None of my amateurs that I train talk reckless before the fight because the ones who talk, they're mostly hollow. So when Billy was talking that smoke, and because he was defending his friend, because Joe Joyce is a traveler, he's a half traveler, right? So he was defending his friend against Daniel Dubois, and when he was talking that, he never thought he'd himself be in that position, and he was trying to get himself out of the Canelo fight. He said, "Oh, if they do the ring, we're gonna go home." Yeah, they wanted to go home because they never really wanted to fight. Eddie Hearn forced Billy Hand to fight that fight because he's been with Eddie Hearn for a while. He ducked out the Booby Andrade fight, doing all the kind of antics, and they forced him into that fight, and he got it beaten of his life. He got the beating of his life, and his old man got put on his ass by a linebacker. He trying to get in the barriers, and at the end of the day, look, that never need to happen. But that's disrespectful. You can't come to an America and you think you can go grab a man by his neck and try to push him out of the way. Hell no. Yeah, you got put on your ass.
Let me tell you something about that real quickly, though. I know a lot of people are saying that the security guy was out of line when he did that to Billy Joe's father. Let me just say this. The man was doing his job, okay? Because first of all, he didn't know that was his father. Number one, that was his father. Number one. Number two, if somebody's gonna rush in and try to rush into the ring like that, you gotta do your job to keep him away from the ring because you can't have another Riddick Bowe and Andrew Galata moment.
Well, EJ said something that was a very poignant point.
Mm-hmm.
If you watch Billy Joe's father, he grabbed the guy by put his hand on the back of the guy's neck. Am I right,
Yeah.
EJ?
Yeah. He went for his neck. He tried to go for the guy's neck.
You can't ever go for someone's neck. That's a death blow right there. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You put your hands around my neck, there's a problem. You're gonna have a problem with me. But yeah, look.
They should have stopped. No. They knew who. No, Dan. They knew it was his dad because the whole trouble is that this is the thing. Travelers, yeah, and I'm not gonna label the whole community, but when they go places, they usually wreck the hotels. You know, they piss up the walls, shit on the beds, and they smash the place up. They do it in the UK. You know, over here, like when travelers roll up into the shops, they usually buy the food. They don't buy the food. They go into the shops, and the security have trouble with them. They don't respect authority. So when you see the dad climb over the barriers, first off, what you see him looking left to right, what he was doing was illegal. You know, what he did was illegal. That's one thing, right? The second thing is like you're trying to intimidate a security guard by the neck. Are you damn crazy? Who you think you are?
Right,
You
he
know
put
what I
his
mean?
hands on that guy. He put his
Yeah.
hands on that guy.
And you see Jerry Jones, yeah, is one of the most richest guys in Texas, right?
Yeah.
He hires former NFL security, right, to alleviate that. Yo, that's when you see that American football tackle. He threw him down. Now everyone's getting on Tyson Fury. I was like, Tyson Fury didn't want no smoke from that guy. And I saw a big defensive linebacker come. I saw a defensive line come from the other. That's his boy. Came from the other side. He ran right through everyone out of the way. You know what I mean?
I think part of that too. I think part of that too. Tyson Fury's already got some legal problems in his hands right now. That's naming Deontay Wilder. So he ain't trying to get no more legal issues at that point. So he did the right thing by staying out of that situation. So
but they caused trouble the whole week. They were in the hotel when Canelo was just doing his thing, walking through the hotel in the lobby, and they talking reckless. Why won't you give us our ring? I was like, who's this guy talking? Canelo goes, shut up, you pussy. And like you trying to disrespect the champ. It's like you real disrespectful. They're in the hotel talking reckless the whole week. He comes down with his robe, acting like saying he's calling him you juicy. Then he disrespected a respective Mexican reporter, saying your breath smells of shit. I mean, bruh, this guy, yo, that beating, that was well deserved. And I believe that people in America look on Billy Joe Saunders and they look at him disdain. In the UK, we can put all the propaganda you want, but everyone knows on the mains that what we saw was that. Now, I feel sorry for Mark Tibbs, right, in a way, because Mark Tibbs is getting blamed and thrown underneath the bus. But you know, the thing is, Mark Tibbs and his dad, they're former gangsters as well. So, you know, they got gangsters code. You know, you're not supposed to snitch. You're not supposed to tell the truth. And Mark Tibbs broke that code. But Mark Tibbs was disgusted. He's like, yo, he goes, what did Mark go? Mark, what happened in the ring? He goes, I didn't get the signs I want. You know, I was surprised. You know, I thought Billy, you know, he would give it a bit more because he was hearing the talk himself. Right. And he goes, you know, but when I didn't get response I want, I pulled the thing. And I goes, yeah, he pulled the thing. But we've seen many guys in America, many guys in the UK refuse to quit. You know, when everyone's looking at them, nah, they should stop. The fight should be stopped. The fight should be stopped.
EJ, you want to hear a story? You want to hear a funny story? I don't know if you know who Pavel Wallach is, Polish fighter. He fought Delvin Rodriguez. And in the first fight, his eye was closed shut, looked like a grapefruit. And I interviewed this guy, and I was asking him questions about it because the ref was going to the corner after every round, asking him if he could see, And then the ref put his hand over his other eye, and he was holding up fingers. You know what he said? He's like, I was squinting through the space in between his fingers just so I could see, and I was practically guessing how many fingers he had up. I couldn't see, but I wanted to go on so bad that I told him I could see, and I was practically guessing the number of fingers he had held up. Yeah. That's how bad this guy wanted to fight.
Yeah, we look at Diego Corrales in the fight with what's his name again?
Castillo.
No, not that one. The other one, the one against the one where he got stopped and he was pissed. The one, what's the guy? The guy
Floyd?
from Cuba. The guy from Cuba. Jose Casemiro. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Joe Casemiro.
The first fight, wicked fight. They both got knocked down. Casemiro had a lump on his head. Yo, he looked like Corrales had a hole in the side of his mouth from the mouthpiece. And the doctor, I think Goodman, she stopped the fight. He was pissed. What about Zab Judah when he got knocked down against Costa Zoo? Like he was like, yo, but you see, Billy Joe Saunders was like, he was like, okay, all right. Yeah,
EJ.
yeah, go ahead.
even though you talk a lot of trash, if I was training you and you were in that situation, I'd still pull you out of the fight.
Nah. You know what? But you have to ask me questions though. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Look, I same thing I mentioned about my amateur. He said to me, "Coach, I can't see," and I said to him, "Move your head." There was no discussion.
I'm a little disappointed you sent them back out.
No. Because
I'm disappointed you sent them back out.
Yeah.
He's a young kid. You could have ruined his life.
Nah. He's that. No, his parents are watching, and you had everyone around ringside watching that fight. No. All right, that's the.
Come on, EJ.
No. These kids are savage, and he was beating the shit out of him as well. Hell no. No. It was the last round. No. We're not pulling out. Now,
did you run an eye exam after the fight?
Nah, he was good. He's good to go. His parents, his mom's a nurse. They know what it is. His dad. His family. They look on him. He's the breadwinner. He's gonna be this kid I'm talking about. In a couple of years, when he blows up, I'm gonna mention. Well, Beeb, that's the kid I was talking about. But like for now, he's only young, right? But what I'm saying is this, right? End of the day, these fighters have to find a way. This is where they come from. Billy Joe Saunders was rich. He's madly rich. I think he made 8 mil, and he's had so much money. That's why he came in. What did Mama say about silk sheets? Well, this guy came in a Versace robe. So you know what I'm gonna say to you, bro? This guy came out of silk sheets and a Versace robe, rolling up to Canelo Alvarez like he's made it. Like he's, you know what I'm saying? So where was his hunger? You know what I'm saying? So the first adversity he got, he was out of there, man. He said, "Y'all don't need this. I got money."
So you think he should have continued, EJ? You think he should have continued?
Nah, I think he should do what's best for him, but
I think
he could get criticized though. Either way, he could get criticized.
Yeah, but you know what though? Here's my opinion. He should have gave it at least one more round. I thought. I mean, look, he at least give it one more round, see how it's going.
I would have pulled him, Dan. I would have pulled him.
I mean, fair enough. Fair enough. I respect that. But me personally, that was just his first time he took a bad beating in that round, the entire fight.
Yeah,
and after that, he could have gave it another round. Yeah,
Daniel Dubois hurt his eye in the third.
He should have got pulled out long time. He should have got pulled out.
He went 7 rounds with that.
Yeah, but they're trading because they don't care about him. He should have been pulled out a long time ago.
He was winning that fight though. Before
no. Daniel Dubois? Daniel Dubois was winning shit.
No, he was up. He was up.
No, listen. No, I'm gonna be fair with you. When you're with Frank Warren, now I know on the official scorecards.
You hate Frank Warren. You hate Frank Warren.
No. Frank Warren's biased. Frank Warren's biased. He wasn't winning that fight. He wasn't winning that fight. They were trying because he's a Frank Warren boy. If you're a Frank Warren guy, as you've seen what happens, you're already up 3 points on the scorecard. That's how
he banked. He banked like 6 of the 6 rounds.
Hell no, what you doing?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Come on, Dan.
You're crazy. You're crazy. He only won. Two rounds in that fight.
I'm gonna go look at my scorecard.
Yeah, you could go 2 rounds. 2 rounds I gave him max in that fight. He was getting washed. Through that fight.
No, he wasn't.
You didn't watch the fight. You guys, bro.
I watched the fight. No, Daniel Dubois. The problem with Daniel Dubois. The problem with Daniel.
You're crazy. He was getting
washed. Wait, hold on.
I would have pulled him out. I would have pulled them out a long time ago, bro.
Daniel, let me give you the scorecard. Look, I gave Daniel Dubois rounds 1, 2. I gave Joyce 3 and 4. 5 and 6 Dubois. 7 to Joyce. 8 was a bit of a toss-up. I leaned towards Joyce.
Crazy.
9 to Dubois. 10 to Dubois. Dubois was winning the fight on my card by 1 round. It was close fight.
I had Dubois up by a point at the time.
Another fight I was watching, he was getting smoked, gun smoked. I was watching him. No, I don't hate no one.
You're on the Matchroom payroll. You're on the Matchroom payroll. You're getting the full benefits package.
Who's payroll?
Matchroom.
Why would you say that?
I saw you.
Where's your evidence?
I saw your checks with the letterhead on them, the Matchroom.
Where you're crazy.
Don't listen to me, man.
Bro, let me see. I don't know one's payroll.
I saw you flossing those Matchroom checks on.
Hold on. Which fight is which one of them fighters are Matchroom fighters?
None. But you
what's that gonna do with anything?
Frank Warren's a competition.
But that's an in-house fight. That got nothing to do with Matchroom.
Yeah, that got nothing to do with Matchroom.
You want
bro, they got that. Listen, I'm not on no one's payroll. You make me laugh. Listen, it's really funny.
I get on this kid's skin like friggin' dandruff.
No, bro. Listen. I'm not budget. All I say is this, right? When I look at that fight, he was getting washed. I
No,
knew
I had
this.
him up by a point though. I swear to God, I did.
I
I
had
can't
him
believe
one
that. I
five
can't
point
believe what
two.
fight you guys are watching now. But
We
yeah,
watched the same fight. He was
I,
up by a point.
I ain't
You
even
could
gonna go.
argue. Wait. You could argue Joyce
But
was
it is
winning the fight
arguable
too.
though because some people didn't have him up.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
no, he wasn't. Bro, he was listen. He was getting washed. His face was getting smashed apart. The trainer didn't know what was going on. The trainer never once. See, look, when I said to this deep, when I said to my guy, he said he can't see in one eye. I never said to him, "Oh, you're in a fight now. You know this is a real fight." I never said that. What did I say to him, Beeb? I said to cover. You need to your gloves up. You need to move your head, right? Because you're winning the fight. You're winning. You're winning. It's just sparring, but you're doing all right in it. It's the last
Was he
round.
winning the fight, EJ? Was he winning
Yeah,
the fight?
he was busting him up, bro. He was busting the kid up. The kid caught him with a good shot, and he came back and said, I can't see out of the eye. And I gave him some water. But what I'm saying is this: Daniel the bar, it wasn't in the fight. And the trainer never told him once to move your head, never told him once to parry the shots and come back, cover the eye. Look at the Nito Donaire against Guillermo Rigondeaux. Did he think about quitting? Hell no. What did he do? Did what I said. He covered the eye against Guillermo Rigondeaux and continued. You know what I'm saying?
That was
Like,
in
you
the
know.
last round though. That was like the closest
No,
seconds in the
it
last
wasn't
round
last round.
though.
He went with that three
It
rounds.
was.
No, it was three
No,
rounds. No, it was
no.
3 rounds. He
He
went
broke
back.
that eye in the 12th round. It was the
No, he
12th
didn't.
round.
No, he didn't.
Yes.
No, he didn't. No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. It was around round 9. That fight was going on for time. He had a swelled eye. So what I'm saying is that you, as a fighter, you have to find a way through, regardless. The quitting is the listen. Yo, bro, it's like yo. This don't happen. Just don't.
Yeah.
If the trainer kicks you out and said get out the ring, then you got an excuse, right? But the fighter can't. The fighter can't because that's the way they're built. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're not built to this.
Oh, where's the feedback coming from?
Someone call me. Someone's call me. I got to
Oh,
jump off real quick, then, but I'll
All
see you
right, bet.
guys later.
all right, B.
All right, yeah,
All
Beeb.
right,
See you
B.
later, man.
EJ,
Nice one,
See you
Beeb.
later, man.
Y'all
Thanks.
take care,
all
man.
right, EJ.
Take care.
Congratulations on your
Yeah,
position at Matchroom, EJ.
thank you. You're welcome, Beeb, man. I try and bring you if I can, Beeb. I try and bring you in as well.
All right. I'll see you later.
All right, take care, B. See
All
you
right, man.
later,
Take
man.
care, Beeb.
All
Take
right, take
care.
care. Hey, but real quickly though, let's switch gears a little bit. Now let's talk about this. I know I wish B could have stayed on longer because it would have been a good conversation to have here. The Frank Ward and Bob Arum. You know, recently they came out. They were asking for proof of funds, and then a lot of people on the AJ side of things were raising the uproar. Like Eddie Hearn dealt with the Saudis before. Why would they need to ask for proof of funds? But here's the reason why. And I just watched Chris Andre's channel. Shout out to Chris Andre Boxing. If you guys don't know who Chris Andre is, please check his channel out. He's got some good stuff there. He's a UK guy. Uh, One of his commenters, who's also a commenter, a subscriber to my channel, TMT, he has an Andre Ward avatar when he beat Kovalev the second time. But anyhow, TMT brought up a good point, and I'm only paraphrasing what he said here to Chris Andre, and not word for word, not verbatim, I should say. He said, "You do understand the second Joshua Ruiz fight, the second fight, the rematch. That fight was bankrolled by the Saudis sports authority, which is the sports commission, which is public money. They funded the event. They're the ones who put in the cost to get the stadium built, along with the labor and such and so forth. Right? The private investors, they only came in and they did their part as far as getting the fighters paid, is concerned, as far as the purses and the I believe, well, partially the purses and also getting the announcers and other people abroad. So that's they kind of put in their part. So in other words, that fight between Ruiz and Joshua, the second fight, was a little bit funded by the private investors, but majority was funded by the Saudi government. So that's a difference between two. In this situation, the Saudi government is not getting involved in Fury and Joshua. They don't want nothing to do with it. The reason why they don't want nothing to do with it, they don't want to fund it, is because they're going through some economic hardships right now, and they're going through, some time, some challenges with COVID. Now that's one of the reasons why they don't want to get involved. So now that forces her to find private investors, and Bob Arum, and he has his issues with that, because you know how private investors work. They'll commit to one thing, next they'll pull out just like that. They'll do something flaky. So they're very, very unreliable. That's the problem. That's the reason why Aram and Warren wants reassurances. And another thing too, you have to take into account is that some of these are private investors. They're from Saudi Arabia, correct? The thing is, if they do agree to get the fight funded and bankroll it, they still have to inform the government of Mohammed bin Salam, who's MBS, the Crown Prince. He still has to be notified about the situation, which could get very murky. So that's this is probably the reason why. Another one of the reasons why, other than the Wilder arbitration, reason why this fight is is being delayed the way it's taking so long to get it made is because of those factors alone. They're dealing with private investors rather than dealing with the Saudi government to bankroll the fight. So, what's your take on it, EJ? Do you think this is what's your opinion on that?
Hell no, the fight ain't happening, man. They're full of shit. You know what I mean? I don't think nothing happening, Dan. They're full of shit. I think with Eddie Hearn not coming back to Sky, the fight's on stall because Eddie Hearn's supposed to be, he's deciding whether to go with the zone or whether
Right.
going to Sky. Now, if he makes the move to the zone, Anthony Joshua's still with Sky. Anthony Joshua's still got a fight with Sky. If he stays with Sky, that messes up his deal with the zone. So
Yeah.
this all hinders on where Eddie Hearn is going because he's the one who kind of put in the position. If he leaves Sky, then Frank Warren's going to jump into Sky.
Right.
if he goes to the zone, you kill your UK base, and if the zone goes down, he's messed up. So Eddie Hearn is working double overtime to get content for the zone. At the
Yeah.
same time, Sky Sports is the one who started him off. So Eddie Hearn is in flux, and so he's still trying to work out the deal until Eddie Hearn has sorted out his deal. Then he can go ahead and making the fight with Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua's fine because Anthony Joshua listened to Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn has advised him everything's fine. He's made Anthony Joshua millions. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Anthony Joshua listens to him, and Anthony Joshua just fought in December. Anthony Joshua's looking for a fight June, July, whether it's going to be Usyk or it's going to be Phil. I think probably, he probably might fight Usyk and say, you know what, the Fury
Uh-huh.
fight is not happen. We're going to
Yeah.
fight Usyk in thing, and that's what they're probably going to do because Usyk. Because I was wondering why. How come that Joe Joyce fight ain't happened yet? You know what I mean? That should have happened. But Rabinski doesn't want that whole fight. They want so much money from Joe Joyce's team. They can't afford it. So they're like, nah, we can't afford that. So
Right.
then Briggs is like, well, okay, we'll sit here and wait for Anthony Joshua because whoever fight Anthony Joshua, they're getting paid. They're getting paid. So
Of course.
if, Joshua is in a great position. Fury, not so much. Because if Fury doesn't get the fight with AJ, where does he go? What's he do? You're gonna have to go see Dillian White, or you're gonna
Or
have to
do you?
see Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
You know what
Well,
I mean?
I think the Wilder legal cases kind of was another contributing factor why this thing's been held up as well.
Yeah.
As much as people don't want to admit it, that's pretty much obvious what's going on. And another thing too, as I pointed out, is the funding issue. They're having funding challenges because they're dealing directly with private investors. I know people saying, "Oh, Eddie's dealt with the same group of people that bankrolled Fury Joshua too." As I mentioned again, Fury Joshua 2 was not banked solely on private investment. That was also banked on public capital as well, which was also funded by majority by the Saudi government. This time around, the Saudi government is not getting involved this time around because they have their because they're very cautious that they want their money, they want their return on investment, especially if
Well,
they can't.
with the
But yeah,
corona, yeah, but the corona thing has changed a lot of things,
yeah,
and but then the money's there though. The money's there from Sky and the Zone. Everyone's gonna make money back. Everyone's gonna make a killing. So I don't think the money is the problem. Don't listen. Frank Warren wants. He was a deposit of a couple of million in their bank account. And then because what it is, the sticking point is they're gonna Fury is being served up. Let's make it out here. I'm telling people the truth. Fury is being served up like Billy Joe Saunders because watch this, right?
yeah,
On the back heels of Billy Joe Saunders Canelo, all of a sudden Frank Warren makes a video and I think the fight's in jeopardy because we haven't received no money. And I'm like, why would you make that fight just on the back heels of thing? Because Fury called Frank Warren and said, I need some money for some coke. I need some money for coke. I just see my guy get smashed up. I need to get sorted. I need some money. I need some money. You know what I mean? I'm over here in Las Vegas. I need some money. So you need to wire me some money. Frank's like, I ain't got no money. Well, bloody yo, get on Eddie Hearn and get them to send me some money. I need a deposit. So then that's what Frank Warren's gone and done. He said, all right, flick it. Okay, I'll put pressure on Eddie Hearn to make money. And Eddie's sitting there like, oh, they're
yeah,
desperate. They need some
yeah,
money. This is what it's about because the zone has money, Sky
yeah.
has money, the government in thing, they have money as well. But Eddie Hearn is sitting there and he's making them sweat. Bob Arum's sweating, Frank Warren's sweating. Eddie Hearn's cool. Frank Warren's cool. See, I had Eddie Hearn in the interview. He goes, yeah, we've got the money. It's gonna take a while though. I
Well,
started laughing.
you know what,
I started laughing because
yeah,
before the fight, right? You're supposed to
yeah.
send a deposit in, some money in to make sure we're gonna have the
In
fight,
other
right?
words, they're looking for escrow. Yeah, they're looking for
Yeah,
an
yeah, yeah,
escrow
yeah. So,
account. Yeah,
so they've agreed. Everything's agreed, yeah. What the fact they say they haven't agreed, but they've agreed everything, right? So they
Yeah,
just need the money to finish off the details, to finish the details. But
yeah,
what Eddie's doing him, and this is why Eddie and AJ are the A sides. They're making them sweat for the money.
yeah.
They're making because he hates Frank Warren and he don't like the way Frank Warren's done, and they're doing it, and he's making him do it. He's making Frank take or get on his knees. You know what I mean?
Uh,
The way Frank came on that thing, he sounded desperate because see,
yeah.
like Frank wants the money more than thing. Because I think they're gonna send him about maybe 15 to 20 mil. Bob's gonna get a cut. Frank's gonna get a cut. Fury gets a cut. That's the first money, the first installment.
Well, not just that. The networks got to get their cut too. They got
No,
to
no,
get
no,
their
no,
cut.
no, 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 no. The network's already covered, bro. The networks are covered. They don't need no extra money. The
No, they do.
promoter,
Yeah, they do.
no,
Because
no,
if it's pay per view,
yeah.
they get to split that revenue.
Who's pay per view? Who's doing pay per view
Well,
though? Is
because
it
the
Zone?
Sky Sport. Well, here's the is alleged
Yeah.
now that Sky Sports is going to do it because Anthony Joshua still deals with Sky. It has nothing to do
Yes.
with his own.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
right.
one. That's one. Number two, Bob Arum did circulate mention that ESPN Plus is going to carry the pay per view. So
Yeah, that's the yeah, and exactly. So what I'm saying is that Frank's gonna get a cut because
yeah.
Queensbury Promotions with Frank
Oh yeah,
with
BT Sport. I forgot BT
yeah,
Sport
yeah.
too.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
not BT. No, not BT Sports. Queensbury Promotion. They're gonna get a cut. So you
yeah.
know
That's what
that.
I'm saying. Yeah,
No, no, yeah, but
Queensberry. Yeah,
BT's
Queensberry.
not involved. No,
Yeah,
no,
they are.
BT.
Yeah,
No,
they
no,
are
no,
involved.
no, no,
They're
no, no, no,
involved.
no, no, no,
They have
no,
right.
no,
Wait. They have rights to Tyson Fury. They have rights
no,
to
no,
Luke
no, no.
Rousseau.
Queens, no. Frank Warren has rights to size, not BT. No, no,
Oh,
BT, no,
oh,
no. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Bob Ironman, Top Rank, and Queensbury Promotions. This the two promoters have rights. ESPN, they're the platform that put on. You understand?
yeah,
So with Bob Ironman, he can put him on ESPN. In the UK broadcaster, you only have one broadcaster, which is
right.
Sky, and Josh is doing. So Sky. And it's going to be Sky and it's going to be ESPN are going to be the liaison. That's going to be one. Queensbury are the ones who work with Frank One. So what I'm saying is that Tyson Fury's got to split up a lot of money. He's got
That's what I'm saying. He's got a whole lot,
and
a lot of money.
Andy Joshua, who just got Eddie Hearn, and you know, Andy Joshua's making a killing. I mean, he's getting money. He'll get money from, and they might sell the rights to the zone as well. They might sell the rights to the zone to watch the fight, right? So he's
Yeah,
gonna make money from ESPN, from Sky, from endorsements. I mean, they're making a killing. Frank Fury ain't making half as much as Anthony Joshua, and
yeah,
that's why Eddie Hearn is making them sweat for that penny. The reason why the money ain't been sent is because Eddie Hearn don't want to send the money, and he's making them cruel and beg. And he also, as well, the longer they keep it,
yeah,
Tyson Fury's been out the ring. How long has
yeah.
Tyson Fury been out the ring? This is going 2 years, man.
Yeah, it
Two
is.
years.
It's
January,
going away.
in that process, yeah. And he just has fought Ruiz, and he's fought Pulev. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's been busy. But actually, you know what? No. He's fought he's fought 3 fights since Fury fought one against what? No, Fury fought 2 fights in Wilder. No,
he
no, no,
fought. Well,
one.
no, Fury fought 3 fights just like Joshua did. The only
No,
difference
no,
is Josh.
yeah. It
Yeah,
wasn't.
the
It
only
only fought in
difference is
February.
Joshua has been a little bit more active because he just
No, no,
fought
no, no.
at the.
Fury fought on. I think it was February.
Yeah,
Black
that was
History
February of last
February.
year. That was
And,
that was the last fight. That
yeah,
was
and
the last fight.
Joshua fought the rematch with Ruiz, and he fought Pulev. You
Yeah,
understand? So what I'm saying is that he's fought 2, but he's been more active and he's more comfortable. The Fury has been out. This is the longest time he's been out of the ring, and this is why you see him every time in the ring because they know that the dates there. So Fury's hanging around after he saw Billy Joe Saunders get a hit. He wanted a line of coke. He wanted him. And, someone said about him and what's his name again? Him and Ricky Hatton go and find a hotel and they're gonna start snorting and have a party and they're gonna be locked in there for months,
yeah.
right?
You know what's
Yeah, that's
funny though? You know
yeah,
what's funny though because Tyson Fury, the way he's been behaving, dude,
yeah,
something ain't right. I'm just keeping
yeah,
it real.
yeah.
Something is not right because this
That's dodgy,
guy's.
isn't it?
Yeah, he looks very dodgy. I mean, there's nothing wrong living it up, but the dude's not like he's not really even. It's like he's not. I mean, yeah, he's training here and there, but it seems like he's not trying to focus solely on training. He's focused on some other shit, partying up, getting drunk with guys like Adrian Broner, hanging out with Nick Diaz. I'm
Yeah,
like, what's that all about?
yeah.
Then hanging out with Tommy Fury at a beach. I mean, what the
Crazy.
hell's going
Yeah,
on here?
listen, he's living it up, bro. Because Fury's one of them guys there. He's enjoying America. Have you noticed he's not in the UK?
Yeah,
He hasn't got a British license. The British board won't give him a license because he caused so much trouble. He didn't pay the fee. He didn't pay WADA or whatever the drug company. He hasn't paid them. He still hasn't paid their money.
UCAT,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
yeah,
ain't pay them. The British board will not give him a license. That's why he's in America. And he's in America living it up, living the American dream.
yeah.
He's up there living the American dream. And
Well,
the thing is, the
he
money,
was
but the
also,
money's running out. The money, but the thing is, the
yeah,
problem is the money. The only one who's funding him, I think, is the Kinnan. They're probably funding him, but the May he's burning through money like bloody water. He's
yeah,
killing it because all them flights and all that and the way he's doing on 1 minute he's in Miami, next he's in California, next he's in Vegas. I'm like, bro, he's everywhere. And the reason why is there, someone was saying that he's over there training with Josh Taylor, because Josh Taylor's getting ready for next week with Ramirez, and I think he's been over there, but he's frustrated because he can't really get no real sparring. So you see him with little guys in there. How
yeah,
come you ever see him? How come you always see him sparring these little guys in there? Because that's what Fury. That's what he likes. He don't really like sparring big guys.
yeah. That's the thing I'm wondering too. He's sparring with little guys. He's also
Yep,
sparring with MMA fighters like Nick Diaz. I'm like, what
yeah,
the hell is that all about? I know
yep.
people saying, well, he's helping Nick Diaz for his UFC return. I'm like, what? What?
Yeah,
Really?
they weren't doing that. I think they're playing around. They think they're playing around. He just got in the ring, and with Broner, they wasn't drinking. I think he just saw Broner and they had a little clip. He wasn't drinking with Broner. He was
Well,
just,
I would just probably exaggerate a
yeah,
little bit, but he
yeah,
was just
yeah.
partying. He's partying with Broner. I mean, look, nothing wrong with partying and
Nah, he wasn't
living.
partying with Broner. Nah, they just saw each other and they had that little clip. But Fury right now, like you said, he's acting erratic. He's everywhere, going here, going there. But when he saw Billy Joe Saunders lose like that, and he was like, "Billy's a fighting man. Fighting travelers don't quit." It burned a hole in his stomach. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it really bothered him because he saw one of
yeah,
his best friends who helped him, recover from being on weight. Billy really helped him. And Ben Davis helped him recover from
right.
what he went through, you know what I mean? And now the fact he's there and he saw that, he saw what could happen to him. You know what I mean? Because if you look at Billy Joe Saunders, he was in inactivity as well. He went against Martin Murray, but that wasn't getting you ready for Canelo. So let me tell
Yeah,
you something. Who's gonna help him get ready for Anthony Joshua? Because Tyson, if you look at it, right, Anthony
yeah,
Joshua has fought guys, Pulev and these guys, he's fought all these guys in there. They're all made a tall order for Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, he's coming into this fight as best he can be. Anthony Joshua is the best Anthony Joshua going to be. Is this Tyson Fury coming in the best for Anthony Joshua? But even though Fury's going to be the favorite, I don't think so.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's very interesting to see how this plays out. As soon as as soon as they announce the fight, we don't know when. We're speculating it could be Monday, which, by the way, is the same day that we're expecting the arbitration ruling resolution for the Wilder and Fury case. So I don't know, man. This is very, very murky because we don't know when. We're all anticipating for the announcement on Monday to see what's going on.
Would you hear
Uh,
about that? I thought that's over a long time ago. That's
no, it's never been over. Mike Coppinger leaked this a few days ago last week.
what he
This
said.
week he said sources indicated that the legal battle between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury will have a resolution. The arbitrator is retired Judge Daniel Weinstein.
Mhm.
He's presiding. He'll make his ruling on no later than Monday.
Oh, that's why Wilder's getting ready. That's why Wilder's getting ready.
Yeah, exactly. And if you hear Malik Scott training him, he's
Yeah.
uttering the words, "Yeah, I want you to cut his big ass off right here when he moves to the side when you try to jab at him."
That means they
I
won the case. That means they know they've won the case then.
probably
Because the thing is, Al Heyman,
yeah,
see the thing is, when you look at it, he's with Al Heyman. Al
yeah,
Heyman and them lawyers, nah,
they're
they're
very
not.
powerful. Al
Oh
Heyman
yeah,
went to Harvard,
yeah.
and so did Bob
Harvard.
Arum. Yeah,
Yeah,
go
but
ahead.
Bob Arum, take Bob Arum. I don't think Bob Arum. I think Al Heyman's people took them to court. Bob Arum's people probably put a defense up, but Bob Arum's lost to Al Heyman. He's lost to Al Heyman
Before,
too many
yeah,
times.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's
lost
lost
to
to Al Heyman because they ain't got really legs to stand on. I mean, there's in the contract. Wilder, look, let me clear this up for everyone. Wilder gave the man a voluntary, right?
yeah,
I'll tell you how he gave him a voluntary. Fury won the belts of Vladimir, but Vladimir never had a WBC belt. So in effect, Wilder never had to fight, Tyson Fury at all. He didn't need. He gave him a voluntary, right? He let him fight whoever he wanted to fight, whoever bums, and then he gave him a voluntary in the first fight, right? He got a
sure,
draw. Then he said, "Okay, I'll give you another voluntary, but in the voluntary, if you beat me, there's a rematch clause, and that's what happened." You know what I mean? That's what happened. Now
sure,
everyone knows about the corona and this, that, the other. There's a rematch clause in that if you beat the champion, like Lennox Lewis lost to Hassan Ratman, you have to think. Now Wilder got the draw. Wilder should have said, okay, leave it. But Wilder said, okay, we'll have another fight again. We need to clear up matters. Credit to Wilder, credit to Fury. And he lost, right? But Wilder's like, we need to go back in there. I'll tell you right now, with Wilder with Malik training the way he's training, Shit, Fury gonna whoop his ass, man. Fury gonna whoop his ass, bro. But you know
Yeah.
the thing is, I tell you what, yeah. See this the excuses. See the dudes making excuses for Wilder. No more excuses, no more. No more glove gate, no more this, that, JDs, none of that. If you got Malik, that's even worse. You getting in that fight with Malik, yo, forget that joint.
Well,
Hey,
let's be fair. You could be right, then you could be wrong because
hey,
let's put this into a historical context now. Now, not this. There's been great trainers who didn't turn out to be great fighters. Like for example, Freddie Roach. Like for example, Ray Parcell when he traded Roberto Duran, Tommy Hearns at the point of his career, and Sugar Ray Robinson. Not Sugar Ray Robinson. I'm sorry, Tony Zell and Rocky Graziano. Those
yeah.
guys. So, but the fact is that my point is, and then you have Eddie Futch. Then you have Georgie Benton, God rest his. All these guys were great, all-time greats, but they were never great fighters. So this could be the
Oh,
case. I mean, this could be the case for Malik Scott. I'm not saying he's in that class yet. I'm just saying it's probably too quick to jump to that conclusion yet.
you know,
You could be,
you got a good point, right? So
yeah,
you know, you made a good point. They wasn't great fighters themselves, but you know, and they know. But the thing is, but you mentioned Eddie Fudge. He was around Sugar Ray Robinson for
yeah,
years, right? You
yeah,
mentioned Georgie Benton. You know, look at that Philly show. He had Partner Whitaker and all them guys. Now Malik is starting to get his name out as a trainer. He's with
yeah,
Deontay. They get along well. But the things, what I'm saying is that I look at the stuff he's trying to make him box like Malik does. Malik's trying to make Wilder like himself. But hold on a
yeah.
minute, Malik. Wilder beat your ass already. So, yeah,
Well, I think he's trying to. Yeah, I think he got to mesh his style. Wilder is not known to be a back foot fighter. You know, guy bounces on his toes. He's a guy. He's trying to look for one big shot and get you out of there. That's what how he's always fought.
yeah,
He
disrespect
fought.
the game.
Yeah,
Disrespect the game. Yeah, he
yeah.
disrespect the
You know,
game.
he'll rely on his power and athleticism and his reflexes, but he's trying to make him a complete fighter. That's what I see. But you know, who may never know. We have to see how this
Well,
translates.
the
If
thing is, no, you don't have to have a fight for that. Like Malik,
yeah,
what you need to do is when that stuff there, you need to put them in sparring to see how he does with sparring. Now, Wilder, see the thing is with the problem with Malik. Malik will say yes to Wilder. When you with Breland said you need to do road work. Breland said he didn't do no road work. Breland
yeah.
said he didn't like this, he didn't like that. So what happened with Wilder? Wilder was getting to the point where I'm just gonna rely on my power. I don't need to box if I got my right hand.
Well,
You
yeah, that's true.
see,
You know,
so Wilder was getting to the point where he was cutting corners and
yeah,
he was getting more because it was working. But you see, the thing is, the reason why it was working is because Breland made Wilder understand about distance. So that's a very important of it, and what Malik don't understand. If you see what Wilder's doing with Malik, well, Malik's making him fight very close. Well, when you fighting that, you're gonna get hit. What Breland did with him, he made him work behind the jab and let everything come to you. You could blind him with the jab, you can step back with the jab, and then you can throw the right hand. What Wilder did is like, I don't need to throw the jab no more. I'm just gonna make them miss and just throw my right hand and shoot it down and just knock them out. And I said, yeah, and you gambling. And he go, but that's how confident Wilder was doing it, and he was winning. So Wilder was like, if it's winning, why don't I need to change it? Brilliant's like, well, that's not gonna work with them, and they had that kind of discipline. So when we got to the point where Brilliant's, I can't do nothing with him because he's so disrespectful. Now, when they lost, it was all amalgamation of Wilder
yeah,
putting on that suit,
yeah.
Wilder putting on the
Exactly.
suit,
Yeah,
Black History Month. Wilder was doing way too much to be focusing on what he needs you to win. Now, when you bring Malik in, Malik's like Aaron Stowell. You know Aaron Stowell? You know what that is? That's the guy who
nah.
was in Mike Tyson's corner when Mike Tyson was getting his ass whipped by Buster Douglas. You saw what
Oh
happened
yeah, I
there, right?
remember that. Yeah,
They
I
didn't even
remember
bring
that.
he didn't even bring an end swell. Like
Yeah.
before that big fight, what did Aaron Snowell ever do to put himself into the world stage, into the most prominent prize fighter in the world, Mike Tyson? So
Right.
you talking about Malik, like you have to earn the right to be in that corner. You can't just turn up in that corner, Dan. Like,
Yeah, that's
like
true. That's
he's an elite number one champion who's on the verge of getting his titles back. You can't just walk up into that thing like you ain't even done that in your own
well.
career.
Yeah,
So
that
so
you
you
got a
need, you
point.
need some experience.
Yeah,
Go
you
ahead.
got a good point. But remember, we all criticized one guy who's a trainer for Tyson Fury going into that Wilder fight, and that was Davidson. He
Okay.
never,
He's
he
going in.
never,
Going in there.
going into that fight, he never had any experience on world level fights at all. None,
Yeah. And
none
what did
at
he do?
all.
What did he do? He didn't even make it Tyson get knocked out. He made Tyson run the whole fight. And
Well,
then
he was winning the fight. He
Tyson,
was winning.
Tyson got knocked out twice. He made him run the whole fight. Fury, it was Freddie Roach said, listen, we been knocked down now. Look, why don't we just go forward? They had enough, go forward. And now if you look at the end of the fight, in the last time he got knocked down, Tyson came forward because Freddie Roach was screaming at Fury, "Yo, go forward," and that's what he did. And you know, all he did is change. He got rid. Why did he get rid of Ben Davis? Because you know, John Fury said he ain't no good. He's gonna get my son beat against Otto Wallen. That was all Ben Davis doing that pad work. He nearly got killed by bloody about Otto Wallen. Everyone remembers Otto Wallen putting hands on Fury.
Yeah,
John Fury got rid of him. They brought Andy Lee in, they brought Javon Davis, and the rest is history. You see what I'm
yeah,
saying? Because Javon history has all that experience. So what I'm trying to say to you, Malik is limited, bro. You understand? He's limited. And what I'm trying to say to you, you need experienced guys in there. Now,
yeah.
Malik could work alongside another experience to get your experience. So, you know, to bridge the gap. But you can't be rolling up in there in that big fight with your limited experience because you yourself used to run around Malik when
Yeah, that's a
when that
good
heat
point.
came.
Yeah, that's a good point. I agree with you on that one. I think it'd be best for Deontay to bring somebody who's inexperienced, like maybe a Ronnie Shields. Bring him
Ronnie
in.
Shields, Ronnie, bring it.
Be-
But you see
b-
the thing, but you see when you bring another trainer in, they take over though. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's
Yeah,
like you know, what I'm saying is, you can't bring a guy ring. You got to bring a mentor. So what I'm talking about, and let's talk about old trainers like a George Foreman, someone like that who's not really going to come in to take over, but they're going to come in to kind of guide you. You understand?
right.
Malik will do all the pads and whatever you want, but he just needs to be guided. That's all it needs. That's all Wilder really needs. You need an overall guy to guide. Like if you look at Dillian White, right? So Dillian White got my guy Zab Miller. You know, me and him, you know, went to school. We was at the same school. We wasn't in the
Yeah,
same school class, but he said Dillian brought in Dave Caldwell. That never worked too well. But then what did he do? They brought in who? They brought in my man Harold Shadow
Xavier.
Knight. Harold
Yeah,
Shadow Knight. Right?
right.
And Harold Shadow Knight has got all the experience that he worked with Lennox Lewis. Now he wasn't really trying to take over, he just gave pointers. Zab does all the kind of day-to-day, Harold helps out. And that they work well because Harold understands that Zab's still young, and you know I'm an old dude. You know,
Right.
certain things I can't do no more. But what I do have is a lot of wisdom. I can tell you where you're going wrong. And Dylan needed both of them to get through the thing against Povetkin because Povetkin's corner was very experienced. He got a lot of amateur guys. But bro, in that night, bro, Dylan just killed him. And everyone's like, oh, he's shot. Well, if he was shot, how come Povetkin beat him in the first fight? You know what I'm saying? Dillian shut him completely out in the second fight. So going forward, you know, Harold Knight has all the amateur experience, all the experience with Lennox Lewis. He can bring good sparring in.
Yeah,
Xavier Miller is still a young coach. He can learn from all that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you build a team where you have a young and the old, and they work together. Not with the other guys here coming in when they want to control. So you need someone in there who's kind of older as a mentor, like a Mr. Bashir. You know what I mean?
yeah, or maybe a Buddy McGirt. You could bring him in as a
But yeah,
mentor,
you go. There you go. That's a
or a
good one.
Virgil Hunter. Virgil.
But Virgil Hunter, Buddy McGirt, because they're older, they're wiser, they're not necessarily coming to take over, but they're coming in to help. But I remember I talked to Jonathan Banks, right? He told me something, right? That you know I kind of remember. Jonathan Banks told me that you know Andy Josh asked him to be the head coach, and then Jonathan says, "Yeah, cool, no problem." Because I want you to work alongside
Robert McCracken.
Ron McCracken. He said, "No, I don't do that." And goes, "Either I'm the head coach, or I'm not." And then goes, "No, but I want you because I don't do that. You want me to train you? I'll train you, but I'm the head coach because listen to this now. When you bring someone alongside, guess what happens to the money? How that work?
It gets
Well,
split. Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
you with me now? You with me? You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Yeah,
It gets
all right.
split.
See, there you go. Okay, there you go. That's more money I gotta pay out. But you see, the thing is, bruh, you know, to get me over the hill, that's what I
Mhm.
need. You know,
Yeah,
look at Jeremy McClellan when he didn't bring Emmanuel Stewart. Who's that guy? I don't even know that guy. He brought down there to America against Nigel Benn. You know what I'm saying? You see what happened?
yeah.
Yeah, you
Well,
see?
it's funny though. It's like McClellan, and it's like it's kind of like a parallel between McClellan and Jermaine Taylor because they both had their fallouts with Manuel Stewart. When they
Yeah.
had their fallouts, then look what happened to their careers.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like fuck, man. I
Yeah,
don't know what.
Manuel, because Manuel does so much. I heard Manuel. See, the Manuel's he's a complete trainer. He cooks for you. He makes
Yeah,
sure you make the weight. He makes sure you know he
he
put.
stays at your house. He keeps you at
Oh,
his house.
yeah, man. He's like your father, man. He's like your father. Yeah,
Yeah,
that is some real deep shit. Because he monitors everything. And I think, you know, me being a trainer, I learned so much from Manuel because as I'm an amateur trainer and he's a professional, he used the thing. All he did is just He's with them every step of the day. They're talking about the food, everything they eat. He's with them most of the day. He's most of the time, and they work together, and that's why Manuel Stevens was so successful. He said when Nassim Hamid fought Barrera, he said that guy was a camp for Nassim Hamid to make weight, so they didn't really work on strategy. He was so overweight. Nassim Hamid had a contract with the HBO, and that was the last fight of the contract, and that was the biggest fight. So he ate so much with the money that all he cared about is just making weight. So Manny got him down to the weight, but he had nothing left to fight. He had no energy to fight, and you can see in his face, Barrera lit his ass up.
Yeah.
He lit his
Yeah.
ass up,
Let me go to the comments real quickly. Yeah, Marshall Smurder said Virgil Hunter. Yeah, we mentioned that. Good stuff. Money Man, Money Man. Shout out to Money Man, Money Man in the chat. He says the UK's been taking losses lately. Yeah,
bro.
mainly to the Mexican fighters. uh,
That's what.
let's see here. Yeah, him and Marshall going at it about Wilder and the Fury controversy over the gloves and all that stuff. Uh, DODGO, man. A guy we always have love to talk to with opposite opinions. He says Wilder's looking robotic right now. I wouldn't say that. He's actually looking more fluid, to be fair. The reason boxing is losing is fanatics like you picking. Oh, come on, guys. Let's keep it respectful. Come on, Money Man and Marshall. Let's keep it respectful, y'all. All right. Jonathan Basin helped Wilder to crack that style code. I mean, maybe it's possible. It's possible. We can. Yeah, I mean, to today's point, we both in agreement that yeah, I mean, you can have elite strategy, lead trainer. That's no problem. But you do want to have another a wise mind in that corner to give you some advice, not to take over the training sessions, but to give you some advice, give you some pointers. Kind of like how Ben Davison and they brought in Freddie Roach to kind of be a consultant for the first Wilder fight. So yeah, we agree with that assessment. So yeah, man, like I said, Monday is it's a very you know pretty much a very it's a day that people are going to be very anxious about to see whatever announcement, whatever story breaks. Will we get the announcement for Joshua Fury to take place on August 14th, which is about 2 months from now? Or are we going to get, or the judge is going to order Wilder to order Fury to fight Wilder? If I know there are people saying the judge cannot make you fight anyone. That's true. The judge can't make a fighter fight anyone. Just like he didn't force Hasim Rockman to fight Lennox Lewis. However, he gave him an ultimatum. Because you can also kind of expect the judge Daniel Weinstein to give the same ultimatum to Tyson Fury. If you don't want to fight him, that's fine. But you're going to have to pay out damages, which can be very steep. They'll probably be so far steep that they're going to rather not pay those damages. They might have to take the fight. That's the same thing happened to Hasim Rockman. Well, the difference with Rockman is that the judge gave him an ultimatum.
Dan, your sound sounds crazy, bro. Your sound sounds crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, it's back now.
It is bad.
Oh,
okay, hold on.
Okay, it's back now. No, it sounds all right. Okay. It was
okay.
Yo, you sounded crazy before. Okay, you're right now.
My bad. Okay, let me repeat. So Monday is a day that we're all expecting a announcement, either Joshua Fury or the arbitration ruling of Wilder versus Wilder and Fury. So I don't know, but if it is come down to a ruling, I do expect if it does come to a ruling where the judge may order well, not order, but will decide and will say that the contract is valid between Wilder and Fury, which means Fury is obligated to give the man a rematch. Now, he can give an ultimatum to Fury, just like the judge gave Asim Rockman an ultimatum. If you don't want to fight him, then you're gonna have to, pay out damages, which are very steep. Some damages, the damage could be like $20 million or whatever the case may be. But I have a feeling if that's the case, they're not gonna want to do that. But that's top rank Fury. They rather just take the fight instead. Um, Same thing with Asim Rockman. The judge gave him an ultimatum: either you fight Lennox Lewis as you're obligated to do so, or you have to sit out 18 months and not get paid. Am I still breaking up? Hello? Am I still breaking up?
Yeah. You are a bit. It's not. It's clear. It's clearer, but it's a bit of stacking. But go on. Carry on.
No. I'm just
Nah,
saying
it's
though.
back to normal.
I
Now it's
don't know,
back to
man.
normal. Now it's good. Now it's good. Now go on, go on, go on.
Okay. Damn. I don't know. Like I said though, again, the ruling. I have to repeat myself the third time. The ruling.
Mm-hmm.
If Monday, we don't know. We don't know what the ruling. What we're gonna expect. We might get a ruling from the arbitration, or we might get an announcement for Joshua Fury. So, what do you think? What do you think is gonna go down?
Hell no, no. I think. Hopefully, I want to see the fight. Fury gonna get his ass whooped either way. Yeah. I mean
Wait,
that's
hold
really.
up, hold up. You say you say either way, but now you just said a second ago that Fury's going to beat Wilder based off the way Malik is training him.
Yeah. You talking about Wilder and Fury? You talking about Wilder and Fury? I thought
Yeah.
about
What?
AJ. Oh, AJ. Okay. Wilder get it. Wilder. Yeah. What if Malik's there? Yo, he gonna get his ass whipped, bro. Come on. He gonna
Well, I
get
mean,
his
let's
ass.
be fair though. I mean, Wilder's old style wasn't working against Fury. You got to change up something.
No. What you need to do is what you need. Wilder didn't do. Wilder didn't understand. Yeah, is that all Fury did? Is Fury did? If he tries to box him, Wilder's legs are not good, built for legs. They're not built for moving like that. That's not the way he fights. If Fury thing is Wilder can put his hands together, I'd like that.
Yeah.
But I think Wilder needs head movement to first off, and he needs
Well,
to
we
know how.
saw
He
that.
needs to.
We
He
saw
needs
that.
to.
We saw
He
that when
needs to.
Malik's teaching him that the
Yeah,
head
but he don't
movement.
have to tie up. He don't have to tie up, and his hands are too low. If you notice when he's jabbing, he's bringing his hands back down to his hips when he jabs.
Yeah,
Fury
yeah,
can jab over the top. So what I'm saying is that his hands need to be a bit higher, right? And he needs to continue what he was doing behind his jab. See, his jab, yeah, is the number one thing to stop all that shit. Like if he jabs faster and more prevalently and keep his distance, look exactly what Mark Freeland was doing, right? Then he have more success. He needs to bring the right hand to the body. He was doing
yeah,
that, but what happened with Malik? He's stepping in. He's too close though. You know what I mean? Like he's
yeah.
too. Yeah, and he's see with Breland is a master of distance. See, when you got two guys like that, you need to keep the distance to get your shots in. And the thing is, he's quicker than Fury. He needs to be quicker than Fury. That's all he
Well,
needs
here's
to
the
do.
problem with that. Yeah, that would be ideal if you're fighting an opponent that's shorter than you. Problem is,
Yeah,
Wilder is not fighting a guy that's shorter than him. He's fighting a guy that's taller than him that outweighs him too. So
yeah.
you may have to you try to fight him at a distance that didn't work. So
Mm-hmm.
now you're gonna have to find a way to keep the fight in
But
for the
you ain't
distance. So that
outboxing Fury, bro. You ain't
that's
outboxing
exact.
Fury.
Well, of course,
That,
exactly. Yeah, they're gonna try to keep the fight a little bit of mid range and try to keep him at the end of their jab somehow, some way, and give him some angles. That's one way
listen,
you can do it.
Dan,
One way
Dan,
you can do it.
how you beat Fury? How you beat Fury is do what Steve Cunningham is, right? As he comes in, you bang,
Yeah,
you dip your hand like you're gonna throw a pot to the body, and you throw a looping right hand over the top. That's how
yeah,
you beat him. Because two
yeah,
guys, that's how I train. My guys are shorter for taller guys, right? It's
yeah.
a loop. Wilder's never experienced a guy that tall and just imposing. So as if Fury wants to roll up, do you dip like you're gonna throw a jab to the body and you throw a looping right hand? The same what Steve Cunningham threw. It works every single time. That's the punch you land. That's what I would
Yeah,
do. And this comes in experience. Like people don't understand. Like you need to, and that's how you beat him. And the moment you get him wobbling, then you open up on him. See all the other stuff, moving around and stuff like that. All you do is bide in time. You need to be able to put something on him quick enough fast to let him know that you came here to fight. That's what Fury did. Like think about what Fury did. He went in there and pull it on Wilder hard and fast. And let Wilder know I'm here to fight. And then he put the shakes in Wilder. So Wilder needs to do the same thing to him. Let him know. But see, Wilder underestimated Fury and disrespect him. So, this is why I said they're fighting the wrong game plan. All that stuff you're not going to use against Fury, and it ain't
that's
effective.
true.
Yeah,
That's
you know what
true.
I'm saying? You have to cut. This is what I said to you, Dan. When you come down to, I have to cut to the chase, and this is the thing. Unlike most of them coaches, I talk with you. I get my knowledge from a lot of guys that I can cut to the chase in my amateur. I can break down footage and tell my guy exactly what he needs in that fight. I mean, Steve Cunningham gave blueprint is there. It's right there for you. It's right there for you. So what I do, I bring Steve Cunningham in. Shit. You know what I'm saying? That's the
Okay.
guy who put him on his back. You see, this is the things that I would do. Steve Cunningham in. I go down to Philly. I go Philadelphia. I go to the
Yeah,
Philly gyms. I talk to them Philly guys. The America is a wealth of experience. You got the Midwest in Detroit. You got Philadelphia. But all these people. Why are you sitting in Alabama with thing? You know what I'm trying to say? Malik's,
yeah,
you're being lazy, bro. You
yeah.
could just go anywhere in America, Dan, and get some knowledge out here. You could roll. You know what I'm saying? But the best footage, the one who Fury doomed was Steve Cunningham. It was the shot was, and you and see when you go to Steve Collins, where'd you learn that shot from, bruh? And he'll tell you, I learned it from Nassim Richardson. Okay, so that means I need to bring Bernard Hopkins into my camp. See what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Okay, you know,
yeah,
if you bring
fair.
Bernard Hopkins into the camp and you know what it is, you know, okay, you know, these guys have got wealth of knowledge, and you know, relying on Malik is it's being lazy. It's being lazy to me, you know. That's the one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair point, but yeah, to your point though, it could work. It could be a disaster, but let's see what happens. But to your point though, I think he does need to bring in someone else to give him a second opinion. So I agree. Somebody who's experienced, who's wise, like a Buddy McGirt type, a trainer, bring him in to give you that other, the other tools, set of tools. Shout out to JD. He's from the UK. He says that Aram and Warren are sound like idiots, like asking a billionaire prince and defense minister of Saudi Arabia for proof of funds. Every man and their dog knows they're good for the money. It's a stalling tactic. Well, let me just say this: um, the WWE. I'm going to bring this up. Vince McMahon. All right, they have a deal with the Saudis. Okay, that's directly with the Crown Prince, MBS, Mohammed bin Salam. Okay, they have a deal where they can host. They have a certain amount of shows they host. I think the deal is up to 5 years. I believe. I could be wrong. But anyhow, the WWE had did what 4 shows already. I think two or three, 2 or 3, maybe 3 shows, I believe. Before the pandemic locked everything down. This was early 2020, right? They had the 3 shows, and they were not paid by the Saudis for those 3 shows. So when they had their show Ground Jewel, when actually this is kind of ironic because Brock Lesnar was fighting Cain Velasquez in a wrestling match, and not Brock Lesnar, Tyson Fury was on that same WWE card Ground Jewel against Braun Strowman. This is the time when Vince McMahon was upset and he wanted a meeting, an emergency meeting with the Crown Prince MBS because they wanted to get paid for those prior 3 shows. The MBS denied that request. He didn't want to meet with Vince. Vince got pissed off at him and he threatened to cut the live view of the show if he didn't get his meeting. He wanted his money. He wanted his money now. If he didn't get his money for those 3 shows, he was going to cut the feed. So what did Vince do? When the live show came up, he cut the feed to punish the Saudi audience. In retaliation, MBS grounded, stranded the wrestlers who was trying to leave Saudi Arabia, and they were stranded for 2 days. And then somehow, some way, they settled out in court for $39 million. So, um, the point I'm trying to make is that the Saudis are, especially given the fact that this is private investors involved, not so the Saudi government. You can't. They don't have a good history of paying people on time. So, um, again, if you go back to my earlier explanation, the difference with Joshua and Fury, the reason why Aram and Warren are asking for proof of funds because they're dealing directly with private investors. If you notice the Ruiz and Joshua rematch that happened in Saudi Arabia in late 2019, that was bankrolled majority by the Saudi government, which is a sports commission. The Saudi authorities, the sports commission, they're the ones who bankrolled the event. They helped get the stadium built. But this time around, they're not being involved in this fight with Fury and Joshua. So that's the reason why they asked for proof of funds because private investors they can commit to something. Next they could pull out the last minute. They can be very dodgy and shady because Aaron's had some history with them in the past, and he does. He wants some reinsurances just like with Warren. So I wouldn't call it a stalling tactic. I think they're just asking for reinsurances, which is very reasonable, especially if you're dealing with private investors rather than public money, like with the Ruiz and Joshua's second fight. But yeah. Um. Anyhow, let me see. Oh yeah, the Neri Figueroa fight's coming up, man. You gonna watch that?
I'm on it right now. I see Abner Mares with his dodgy eye. I see him on the screen right now with his purple suit. And I still remember when he was hitting Joseph Kobeku with them low blows. So yeah,
Yeah.
He's on the channel right now. Brandon Figueroa is walking to the thing. I was gonna go live in this, but I think it's one of them ones there. I'll sit down and watch the undercard. Has not really got anyone big names.
Yeah.
This Neri's a little cheater. I remember watching him with Naoto, and I remember him beating Shimaniro, the Japanese guy, where he kept coming
Yamanaka, yeah,
yeah,
Shinshi
yeah,
Yamanaka,
yeah.
yeah.
He kept coming in overweight, right? He kept coming overweight and kept cheating. I kept beating him. So
Yeah, I call Nyota on that. He knows this too, man. Shout out to Nyota, man. I think he did put up a video early today, but I got to
yeah, he
watch
did.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I watched.
but
I
yeah,
watched.
I mean, I was telling Iota about that about Neri. Like, dude, I'm not rating that guy if he's gonna keep coming in overweight in big fights. Why should I even rate him? And he
Yeah,
did it again against Yamanaka, and then he ended his career because
yeah,
he pretty
yeah,
much he
yeah,
way
yeah.
bullied him.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
did.
way
Wait,
bullied him.
yeah, he way bullied. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying to you. So they've got Neary, and he's been there. And but
Yeah,
now, now I roll with these little guys. He rolls them hardcore. What's up, JDs? How's
yeah,
Wilder, bro? How's Wilder, bro? All I'm saying is that we have to see. But when it comes to Neary, I'm sure he's gonna make the weight. Brandon Figueroa is young. I want to see the winner out of this fight, Conor Ben. I
yeah.
think they're at what was it, 140? That
Nah,
140.
not even close. No, this fight's at 122. They're small guys,
Oh,
bro.
okay. I'm thinking about his brother. Then I think his brother's at that
You
weight,
mean
isn't it?
Omar? Omar,
Yeah.
no,
Oh.
Omar ain't got no career, man. He's washed up. He's done, man. Omar could have been a great fighter at lightweight or even at light welterweight, but he just had so many
Steve.
out of ring
Oh,
issues. He
yeah,
blew
yeah.
up in weight. He's not staying in shape. He's backed out of big fights. He's pretty much brought in as a gatekeeper for some of these fighters now. So he's just there
Okay.
to get paid. He doesn't even care anymore. You
Oh,
know?
well, they got Steve Fulton Jr. I think he wants to fight the winner out of Neary and Figueroa. I think he wants to unify the belt. So,
Yeah,
he's a very good technical fighter. But this is a little
yeah,
man card, just to showtime to keep them busy. I mean,
right.
Mayweather. Everyone thought about Mayweather. Like I feel Mayweather. Listen, I think they've called Mayweather a lot of stress. People saw Mayweather why did he come in with the hair transplant, and I think he's going for a lot of hardship. His uncle Roger died. His grandma died, and
Yeah.
the mother of his children has died, and Mayweather's going for a lot of things. People are like, why is he looking
Yeah.
so rough?
Hey, wait,
Yeah,
real
because
quickly though, real quickly. Hey, shout out to ones in the chat, man. What's going on,
oh
ones?
yeah, yeah. What's up, one of them
Yeah,
ones? What's going on?
yeah,
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think Mayweather's going for a lot of hardship. So when they say why he looks so rough and stuff like that, it's like, yeah, he looks like when he gets in the training camp, that's the way he looks. But for the
yeah.
guy to take his hat off his head, the ultimate disrespect. I'm sure one of them ones must have watched it by now because we was talking about it yesterday, like 2 days ago. So I feel like Mayweather's gonna punish the Logan Paul.
Jake Paul. No, it's
No,
Logan.
yeah,
Yeah,
Logan Paul. But Jake, I heard Jake Paul wants to fight or looking to fight Chuck Liddell.
yeah. Well, it's funny though because speaking of Floyd, this is an interesting story that came up. I didn't get a chance to read it. I'm not
Yeah.
sure you read it, but he's suing a group, a investment firm, for 123 million dollars because they failed to deliver the Logan Paul fight to Dubai. I don't know what that's about.
Oh
You hear
yeah,
that?
maybe
Yeah,
is it okay? To
yeah.
Dubai.
Yeah, yeah. They were supposed to bring the fight to Dubai, and that fell through. And he's suing the investment firm, the equity firm that was supposed to bring that fight. I don't know why he's suing them for that. If they couldn't deliver, they couldn't deliver, unless there was some guarantee in the contract they would deliver, and they all of a sudden they couldn't do it. So
Oh yeah,
that's
Mayweather.
binding.
Right? The first time I ever heard Mayweather suing anyone, he doesn't really kind of gets to keep that thing sharp. But if
There
they
it
if,
is.
if
Yes,
they
here it is.
if they but this is the thing, if they say they're going to deliver, this is the thing about all these different companies when deal with Showtime and Mayweather wants to fight guys no longer professional fighters and you're dealing with all these dodgy people. A lot of investment and money and people promise this and that. And I feel Logan Paul's going to pull out. I think Logan Paul's going to pull out the fight. I think they're trolling Mayweather to get to come up to say I'm gonna tell. I mean, how the heck you gonna come to Mayweather and tell him you're a woman beater and you can't read? I mean, that is so disrespectful. You're not a fighter. You're not a fellow fighter. You're actually nobody. You're a YouTuber. And like you're nobody in my level to even talk to me like that. And I feel like Mayweather's like, okay, I'll take that. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna get in the ring. But Mayweather, I feel like they ain't gonna fight you, bro. They're just trolling to get their future. And then when it comes to the fight, they gonna
Yeah,
pull out. They gonna pull out. Then what? What are you gonna say? And you took a
yeah,
load of embarrassment for what? For what? You know what I mean? Because these are not fighters who have to follow through. They don't have to follow through. You know what I mean? It's like
yeah,
no one thinks they're gonna win anyway. So if they pull out, no one cares. So I think
yeah,
Mayweather is in a lose situation and an
yeah,
embarrassing situation when
yeah,
really, if you fought Manny Pacquiao in a rematch in a legendary fight, shit. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If you could beat these YouTubers, why don't you fight Manny Pacquiao? In a fight, you could make probably the same amount of money, even more so,
yeah.
beating Manny Pacquiao's ass.
Yeah, and let me get into that going into that deeper detail why he's suing this company. I'll bring up the article right here. But JD, I want to address this real quickly. He says that Hearn's been saying he's been dealing with the same people with Ruiz and Joshua too. I'm like, well, yeah. The difference is that in that situation, the Saudi government pretty much bankrolled the majority of the fight. The private investors did the rest. They did the rest of the work, which really didn't require them that much to do. So that's the difference between the two. This time around, the Saudi government is not funding AJ and Fury. That's what they're not funding this fight. So right now they're dealing with private investors. In this case, they can be very shady and they can be very dodgy to deal with. Now, this is a similar situation for Floyd Mayweather. He was dealing with a dodgy investor from the looks of it, and they failed to deliver, and that's why he's suing them. So let me read this report here. He said that, according to this report, TMZ Sports had reported. So this has come from TMZ. They reported Friday afternoon that Mayweather Promotions has filed a lawsuit against PAC Entertainment Worldwide, which Mayweather allegedly breached his contract after agreeing to stage the Logan Paul fight in Dubai on an undisclosed date in 2021, which is this year. Mayweather Promotions seeked at least 122.6 million dollars in damages based on projections that PAC Entertainment Worldwide presented to Mayweather before he signed that deal with the company. So according to the lawsuit, PAC Entertainment Worldwide never made its first initial installment of $30 million of $110 million guarantee for the event. The initial payment was due March 25th. There we go. This is you see where I'm going with this. This is probably the reason why Arum and Warren they want an installment up front, because you see shit like this right here. You have a company here, a private equity firm that guarantees you an installment. They never deliver that promise, and now they breached their contract.
Yeah, but you see how long it takes you to drag them in court. These things go on for years, man.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. That's why they know they can do it. Like they do that because when you go to court, you got to get court date. Who you suing? You know, and most of these companies dissolve and say they're bankrupt, so you even get your money back. You see, this is what I'm saying. See, when I look at Mayweather and these guys here, you're dealing with all these dodgy companies with these dodgy people. Really, you just before you just deal with Showtime, Steven Espinosa, and you're
bless
good.
you.
So yes, excuse me, yeah. But so Mayweather's doing it to himself. I was like dealing with these YouTubers. They're so low grade. They're beneath you. You know,
Yeah,
they're real beneath you. And yeah, and it's like they remind me of the Klitschko brothers. If you fight one, the other brother's coming. If you're fighting Jake Paul, then Logan's gonna come try and get you from the other
yeah,
side. You know what I'm saying, bro?
yeah,
If that was Roger Mayweather, if Roger Mayweather was around, yo, he would have found that Jake Paul. He would have knocked him out, bro. So what you doing, man? Because Roger would have been about that life, you know what I mean? But Floyd
yeah,
ain't got them people around him no more. There's no Roger Mayweather. There's no Rafael Garcia.
yeah,
Floyd Senior is very old. What are you doing? Your whole team's washed. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, I
And
mean, look,
Floyd,
be part of it is too, because Floyd needs the money. He's spending more money than he's actually trying to make after he's retired. Let's be real. And
I
his
don't know. I
promotional,
don't know, man. He makes a
yeah,
lot of
let's
money,
be
but
real.
the strip bar. That's a waste of investment.
Oh,
The
and his
boxing gym,
promotion, yeah,
yeah,
the
the boxing
promotional.
gym, the
Well,
boxing
yeah,
gym makes.
I was going to say though, his boxing gym is keeping him afloat a little bit.
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
with the merchandise, I think with the merchandise, he's got his own TMT money team merchandise.
yeah,
But
his merchandise and yeah,
but the thing is, that's only good. That's only good, yeah, when you're active. You know what I mean? That's the thing about their company. I don't think
yeah,
people are, because you're not fighting. Why are we still buying the money team stuff, the logo? You
right.
know what
And
I mean?
plus, I mean, many of his fighters are not even active on Mayweather promotions. I mean, you only got Tank Davis and Badu Jack. That's it.
Yeah, yeah, and
And yeah,
they're not walking around with the money team stuff. So all your merchandise that you built on the TBE, that was only good because you're winning, and everyone said, yeah, you're winning, but ain't no one walking around with TBE.
yeah,
Ain't no one walking around with TBE, bro. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I think he probably he probably figured out a way, like going through this YouTube arena now. He's like, this is easy. I don't have to take damage. I'm gonna fight these celebrity fights and make a lot of money doing it. I could do this until I'm 60 years old, and that's what he's planning on doing.
Get his ass whipped. Larry Holmes then he got his ass whipped by Butterbean, so he can carry on with that. And Larry Holmes took some beating
Well,
against Butterbean.
Butterbean,
He
well,
won.
way different. Butterbean was a real fighter. I don't give a damn what anybody say. That was no celebrity fight.
Yeah, Butterbean was whooping Larry Holmes' ass, bro.
Yeah, he was a real fighter. Eric Ash, Butterbean, he was a real fighter. So,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah.
but anyhow, like I said though, man, I mean, going back to my point about private investors, especially with that's why Aram and Warren is asking for proof of funds, because look what Mayweather had to go through with this company. They promised him, an installment. They promised him, advance funds, and they never got it. And I think this was what's happening now with these private investors. They were promised some type of monetary funds, and they never seen those funds, and now they're getting upset. Now they're saying, okay, we may have saw something, maybe we can agree to something. Let's just hope we can get this over the line by within next week or so. So, like I said, guys, I want to see the fight, but you have to understand where Arum and Warren is coming from. They want some guarantees, especially you're dealing with private investors who can be very shady. So you're not dealing with the networks who are solely funding the fight. You're not dealing with them now. You're dealing with private people in Saudi Arabia who, by the way, they're probably worried about dealing with the crown prince because he might want to get involved. So this is a very very murky and tricky situation here with Joshua Fury. So we'll see what happens Monday and next week if there's any announcement. But anyway,
I
I'm
don't
going to
know.
wrap this up.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's quite. I don't know about like Monday, like or whatever, but all I know is this year, like when it comes to this thing, this is we've been through this thing with Mayweather and Pacquiao, drug testing and all this stuff. There, when a fight is taking that long, I feel like it's not worth to be focused on. There's other big fights,
Yeah.
the Josh Taylor fight is coming up with Ramirez. There's some other big fights. Canelo. We're still interested to see who fights. So boxing doesn't wait for no one. You know what I mean?
Right.
We want to see the big fights, but I ain't breaking my neck. Anthony Joshua, and Fury, the longer if they delay that fight, the longer it's gonna be worse for the two of them to get in there. And if they don't fight each other and they lose, then they
Yeah.
miss the biggest payday of each other's career.
Well,
So
that's the thing too, and it's especially at heavyweights because anything can happen one punch at heavyweight. Number one, number
yeah,
two,
yeah,
Joshua, a very good fighter and perhaps a great fighter that he is right, as it stands.
mm,
He's very vulnerable. In my view, he's more vulnerable than Fury. And Fury's a vulnerable guy himself. So he's taking more licks and wounds and damages than Fury has. And you'd be more worried about him because he can lose if he has to fight Alexander Usyk. Yes, Usyk hasn't looked great at heavyweight, but
mhm,
he could possibly lose that fight. He could
yeah.
possibly lose that fight. So, and say what you want about Deontay Wilder, we expect him to lose against Tyson Fury if they have to rematch. But
100,
Wilder
mm.
could change that fight with one punch. Anything can happen. Some people argue that Wilder is more dangerous of a fight than the Usyk.
Yeah. Well, that's true. Well, Wilder's one of them guys that you never know what he's definitely can hit. He's got heart. He never wanted to quit in that
Yeah,
fight, and he will fight until the end. So Wilder's dangerous to the end. But at least I'll say I always want to see Wilder versus AJ. That's the fight I always wanted to
I
see.
want to see that one. I think that'd be more exciting fight because
Yeah, that's the fight that for me I wanted to say. I ain't interested in AJ and Fury. They spar together. And I think it's for people, it might be an interesting fight for the UK. And they're trying to block Wilder out. Wilder, in my opinion, yeah, and with Shelley Finkel should have been sacked. You know what I mean? It was
yeah,
his
yeah,
idea to go and dig up Fury to get the highest percentage. You see, Shelley advised him, well, I need more money. It's like, bro, they're giving you a whole heap of money with rematch clause. Fight AJ. You just take the fight. They offered you whatever they offered you, 20 mil. It's your highest ever payday. But you see, with like most things, when you fight AJ and you fight Canelo, you give up ground. You see what I'm saying? You
yeah.
you become the B side, and this is what I'm trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying? That you kind of get disrespected in the promotion in certain things, and Fury, Wilder wasn't ready to give up that. Wilder wanted parity. He wanted respect in the negotiations like he got with Fury. Because Wilder said, look, Fury, giving credit, he gave me 50-50. But I was like, Fury ain't earning that money either. Wilder, you're giving Fury money because Fury, you don't sell no tickets. If anything, Wilder was paying Fury's way.
Well, here's the thing, though. Wilder was going to he conceded to a lower percentage. He's like, I'll take the lower percentage against AJ. All I'm asking for return in the rematch, if I beat you, you got to take the low percentage. That's fair.
Nah, there wasn't no fair. You see, the thing is, you take the fight. See, the thing is, yeah, if you
That's
believe,
fair. That's
yeah, nah,
that's the norm.
listen,
That's the norm.
Wilder believed he could beat him, right? Like he believed
Yeah,
he could beat Fury. But you see, the thing is, the bottom line is that, yeah, like Ruiz, bruh, like Wilder, look what Ruiz did to AJ, right?
yeah.
Bruv, you don't think Wilder could have did that? Wilder could have took that opportunity and did that. See,
Oh
Wilder should have
yeah.
took it. Wilder
And
should have took
Luis
what
Ortiz probably could have done that. Let's be real. Luis Ortiz, he had a chance.
anyone who got close to AJ could have put AJ stretched out like that. So Wilder should have took it. Should have took
Yeah,
the gamble and didn't worry about them sort of things like Hagler. Hagler when he came to England, he gave up a lot. Like Minter had all the money and so yeah, you can take whatever, but I'm coming to take your belt. And there's nothing you can do about it. No referee, no one's gonna hold you back. and that's it. You know what I mean? And he got
Yeah.
disrespected after the fight. So if I was Wilder, he should have gave up stuff, man. She said, yeah, okay. And Wilder got disrespected when he came to Vladimir and Fury. He was ringside, right?
Yeah, AJ.
Yeah, and then what did AJ say? He didn't even look at Wilder. He looked over. He didn't even say that to Wilder. He looked over and called Fury, who wasn't even active. He
I
did. That's
know.
how much. So Wilder should have got hints that this guy don't want to fight me. So okay, whatever. How much he offer me? Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah,
Because
you know what? That right there is kind of got the LDBC. They kind of got on AJ for that and start calling him names after that. They felt that was just towards Wilder.
yeah, we
That's
should have
how they felt. Yeah, that's how they felt.
took the fight. But Wilder should have took the fight. See, going a long way around. And you built Fury up, and he whooped your ass. And look where you are now. You over there kicking rocks. You know what I'm saying?
He might get that third fight. We'll see. We'll see how the judge rules. I mean,
man, even if he gets the right fight now, it would have been better with Breland in the corner. I'll tell you that for the Breland. When you look at Breland and you look at what he done, he made Wilder and him. They worked in such a way that they kept the distance.
To be fair though, let's be fair.
Yeah.
Somebody brought this up too, and this is no disrespect to Mark Breland. I do mean that because I respect Mark Breland. But what other fighter has he been successful with other than Deontay Wilder?
But that's it, man. But that's all he needed because Mark Breland, to be fair, is a very humble guy. He don't he keeps himself to himself. He works in the gym. He's a very modest guy. He just trains guys and stuff like around the way. He's not one of them guys. So what the fact they called him in because he was very decorated. Wilder respected him, and they said, "Yo, bring him in, and he give us some tips," and he did. But the thing is, no one in that camp could say anything. No one in that camp could tell Breland nothing. That's the bottom line. And if you look at Malik, I'm like, Malik, man, bro, I look at you and your career just finished the other day. You know what I mean? What are you doing? Like, are you trying to be a trainer? What are you trying to do? The other day, you was a fighter. Like, Malik's head's everywhere. In 1 minute, he's with that girl. Have you seen pictures of his girlfriend? Little porno pictures and shit. 1 minute, he's wearing pink. Malik's everywhere, man. Malik's like an artist. He's an artist. He's a Picasso.
He's trying to be flamboyant and artistic.
Yeah. He's a Renaissance man. He's into everything, right? But I need a guy who's consummate, and Breland's a consummate trainer. Now you make a good point. Who else has Breland took out? But Breland is one of them guys. To me, he comes like a picky guy.
You know what Wilder could do? They could probably rekindle and make amends. So he could bring Breland. I mean, I'm saying no. Hear me out. He could bring him back, but not as a head trainer. He could bring him back and say, you know what? I'm going to bring you back, but I need you to be, to be a consultant in a consulting form. League's going to be my head trainer. If you have any insight, you provide it to him so he can provide that to me. Okay.
Listen.
They could come to an agreement on that.
Listen, the way he got disrespected, and he said that everything he had to talk to JD's for everything. He comes into the camp. What he said, the champ's not feeling good. He didn't have the guy's number. He barely had any contact with the guy. He had to run everything through JD's. He's like they had him. They had him babysitting.
He had to be a filter, so he had to go through some type of filter to get to Deontay Wilder.
Okay.
So he's like, you have to talk to you. It's like a chain. It's like an open door policy. You have to talk to this person in order to talk to that person.
That's Wilder was the one. JD's and Wilder decided that, right? And it's like you using my name Breland to get somewhere. Breland says, fuck this shit. But Breland took that stuff because he liked Wilder. He
liked the money. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was low. But he was the only one to say, you're losing the fight. And even JD's, why are you stopping the fight? JD's is like, what? It's like, what smoke are you seeing? This guy is getting battered. His ears bleeding. He's getting busted up. He's not winning the fight.
He's got a dent in his head. I don't know.
Yeah, all that shit, bro. And he's like, Wilder was complaining, and then he say he poisoned the water. And I was like, yo,
what? It's funny though, EJ. I was looking at that fight again from the starting bell. Wilder didn't look right, man. Something was off. He was blinking
Fury rolled up on him. That's why it was wrong.
No. Before Fury rolled up on him, this dude was blinking in his corner. I mean, before the fight, before the bell rang. He was blinking.
That bloody suit. That bloody suit he carried.
I don't know what it was. He was blinking.
It was. Is that suit?
He was rubbing his eyes. His legs was wobbly. It's like, dude, what the hell is going on with him in that first round?
I heard he was having sex with his girlfriend in the changing room, and then then he's wearing that bloody idiot suit. I mean, you crazy. Like whoever, and this is the thing, whoever said, do this, do that. You see, Breland had no say in this stuff, right? And then Breland was the one saying, "No, I'm stopping this fight, man. He's getting his ass whipped." It's like, yo, cool. Go, he could.
Yeah, it
What
could be.
JD's? What JD's and them that was thinking? It's like, well, he gonna turn it around. Hell no, you weren't gonna turn that
Yeah,
around,
he
bro.
wasn't gonna turn that around. He was getting beat up. Yeah, he threw a left hook and it connected before Kenny Bailey stepped in, but still though, he wasn't gonna win that
He had
fight.
no power. He had no power left in his body.
Yeah, yeah, he had no
His legs
power.
are weak.
Yeah,
His strength come from his legs. That's what I was trying to
that's
say
true.
about them whites.
Yeah, he
And
threw the
his
left
legs.
hook. And it's funny though. He threw the left hook and he connected, but Fury just like didn't. He walked it
Yeah,
because
yeah. He took
because
out. Yeah,
because Wilder didn't, like you said, he didn't have any legs. You
no
need
legs,
legs to
legs.
generate. Yeah, you
Yeah.
need legs to generate power into your
Generator
shot.
power. Yeah, you
Yeah.
go. And he had none. He had none. And Breland knew that. Breland said he had no legs. He had no power. He's just gonna get hurt. I'm gonna throw the towel in. And Breland could say, "I'd throw the towel in every single time in that thing." And Wilder's an idiot, right? And then he's got yes men around him. Marcus Wallace, he walks around yelling and screaming. He wants to be a boxer, brother.
Well, he got knocked out by two different journeymen, so he needs to stop.
But
Yeah,
that's what
he
I'm
needs.
saying. Calm his ass, because after that he calmed him. See, he was walking around yelling around Alabama. Because the thing is, them boys might be big in Alabama, but you ain't big in the rest of America. They're gonna whoop your ass, bro.
Well, to be fair though, as much as you say about Deontay Wilder, he's more talented and more gifted than his brother. Let's be real. He's more gifted.
Well, he's more dumb. He's dumber than him and his brother. They ain't too smart. You know what I mean? They ain't too smart because at the end of the
Yeah,
day, go
yeah,
ahead and
that's
fighting fighting Charlie Zelenoff, and then choosing to wear a suit, and then, like, I didn't tell me what that suit meant, because I still haven't got. What is that suit? What's that suit got to do with Black History Month? So can you tell me?
well, it was theatrics. Deontay Wilder, he likes theatrics, but I mean, honestly, I'm not
You
sure
don't
if
know.
that's.
You don't know it. You don't
Well,
know it.
what? To be fair though, Deontay Wilder had cleared that up. That suit comment, man. He addressed it, and that was the interview with Brian Custer. He's like, look, I don't know that he said, first of all, that comment was taken way out of context. That had nothing to do with my
No,
performance.
I want to know what the suit meant. I don't know what that suit was called.
Well, well, it's the theatrics. I mean, look, Roy Jones used to come into the ring with a fucking, with a lavender
Nah,
mic.
that's
Well,
suit. That's
no. No. He'll come to the ring rapping with a lavender mic with a
I know, I
damn
know, I know, I
Bret
know.
Hart jacket, like Bret the Hitman Hart type of sleeve jacket. I mean, I mean, come on, he rapping and dancing and
No,
Corey
I had no
Spacey through.
problem. No, I had no problem. But what I'm saying is that the suit had some sort of significance. It meant something, and that's what I wanted to know about the significance. I
I
never
don't know
really
what
got.
it was. It looked very
Oh,
it
it's some
was,
laser shit, like some, he looked like some Game of Thrones shit. But in any case, yeah, the shit fucked his shit up, right? And it fucked his legs up because the shit was heavy, right? And maybe someone did that on purpose. They said, JD said, look, would it be great to wear this bitch ass suit on Black
no, he should
History
have
Month?
wore. He should have wore the same outfit he had when we fought Dom in Brazil. It was light. It looked theatrical. You know, it was a tight. It was a nice entrance. It was light. It
But
was very light.
Fury got it right. He got carried.
That's true. He got
You see?
carried to the ring.
Yeah, he got carried to the ring. And he wearing the king and shit. And that's what Wilder should have done. That's even Floyd Mayweather got carried to the ring. That would have saved his legs, but no one's gonna save him. Wilder didn't look good like that because he lit up his girlfriend. He wearing that costume. He weren't the same. He had no respect for Mark Breland, and he got his ass whipped. You know what I
Well,
mean?
this is why.
Yeah.
So that's why I always say sometimes taking a loss will make you learn things the hard way. And I've always said this too. Deontay Wilder knew how to box. He was always he boxed before. There's a reason why he was a national champion in the amateurs. There's a reason why he was an Olympian, bronze medalist. Okay. The fact, if you look at early in his career when he was fighting all these journeymen, early in his career, in the early stages of his career, when he was fighting,
Yeah.
coming up in the ranks, this
Yeah.
man was using his boxing skills. He was throwing punches together. He was throwing
Respect. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was.
Respect. He had respect.
Yeah, he had respect. He was working behind the jab. He's throwing
Yeah.
combinations at different angles. Yeah, he was throwing a lot of punches. He wasn't relying on his power too much. And then next thing you know, as you say, he relied too much on his power. He
Yeah.
got away with the fundamental. He got away
Yeah.
from deviated from the fundamentals, and it was working for a while. He got away with it. That's why
Yeah.
he felt
Because
that.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No. This is what I'm saying. And Mark Breland brought the simple things, and that was effective. But he thought, I don't need it no more. I don't need it no more. I could just throw my right hand and this and that. He's Wilder. When I see him with thing, and I see him doing all that stuff, it's like he ain't got no confidence no more. He's lost all confidence because when he yelled and screamed at Breland, he wanted to blame someone, right? But now
Yeah.
Breland's not there no more. You can't blame Breland no more. So who you gonna blame? So now you're working with Malik you don't know what you're doing. When I see him doing that stuff, he's lost all confidence in himself. You know what I mean? He don't know who he is. Like when you see him boxing and that,
I don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
what I don't. I wouldn't
When
say
I see him
that.
doing all that stuff, yeah, yeah. Yeah. When I see him do all that stuff, right? He's just to build his confidence up because he's lost his confidence. Because you gotta remember, right? This guy was at the top of the thing. He's lost the Fury, and it's like, is this going? What I'm doing now? Is that gonna help me beat Fury? Hell no, hell no. That ain't gonna help you beat Fury.
Well, we'll see. We'll see because Tyson Fury doesn't look like he's in the best shape right now. Believe it or not.
Better shape than Wilder. He's in better shape than Wilder. I'll tell you that for
Well,
real.
we'll see. We'll
It would
see.
be it would Wilder's ass right now. He looks lighter, quicker. He busy. I see him fat. He got them fat
I don't know
juggling.
about that. Tyson Fury
It would
does
Wilder's
not.
ass. It would Wilder's
Nah,
ass now,
Tyson
man.
Fury looks a little
He's
sluggish.
confident, bruh. Wilder
He
ain't
may be
confident no
confident.
more.
Yeah, he may be
Wilder,
confident, but he don't look. No, something ain't right with Fury. I'm telling you that right now. I'm
bruh.
not saying he's
If
gonna lose a fight. I'm not saying
they,
if they do announce that fight with Wilder and Fury, I'm not saying I'll still picking Fury to win it. But as of late, I'm not seeing the fluidity and the and the what you call it. What's the word I'm looking for? The enthusiasm in the gym. Yeah, he's doing these clips here and there, but something's not right with Fury. Something's going on with him. Something's going on.
Fury will whip Wilder's ass now purely on confidence and really like this is easy. This is easy work, you know. But the thing is, the
Okay.
funny thing is, right?
Well, hey,
Funny thing
well,
of Fury, right? Don't want nothing to do with Wilder again because it's like, well, if I fight him again, I ain't getting that meal. Anthony Joshua, well, that guy is
nah, he's
easy.
gonna get paid for that fight. He knows it.
Nah, he ain't. But
Yeah,
Bob,
he
you do
get.
how
Well, I'm
much he
not
gonna get
saying
paid
what.
compared to
What else?
AJ? AJ gonna
Well,
pay more money.
we all know that, but he's still gonna get paid anyway. I'm telling you, that's
Nah,
what I'm trying to tell you. He's
yeah,
not
but I
gonna
know
get
that.
paid.
I agree with you.
Yeah, that's my point. I wasn't
Not much
saying.
though.
I wait up. I wasn't implying that he's going to get paid more for the Wilder fight than AJ. That's insane. That's idiotic for me to say that. What I'm saying is that's still a big money fight. You and I agree with that. He's
Yeah, I
still going
agree.
to get paid regardless. That's my point.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree. I
Yeah,
agree.
JD. Yeah, he agrees with me. He said, "Look, Fury's back. Back fat looks like he's got kidney disease or something." Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, not trying to be funny. Yeah, I'm not trying to be funny, but he looks like he's out of shape, man. Something ain't right with Fury.
He's
He's
been
got
out of
that
shape.
thick.
He's always out of shape. He's always
Well,
out of
and
shape.
no, he's never been to body beautiful, but he's been in much better shape than that. Number one. Number two, he's got that sixth kid on the way, and then he's out there partying, doing all kind of shit. It's like this dude is like going off the rails again. I don't know. You tell me, man.
But Fury's
He's acting
right.
erratic. He's
Yeah,
acting
he is.
erratic. Anthony Joshua even pointed this out in one of the interviews. Like, look, I'm dealing with a character who's like schizophrenic. It's like one thing he'll say he's gonna fight Wilder at Chicago. Then he says he's gonna fight me. Then he says he's not gonna fight me. I'm dealing with a guy who's not reliable.
Mm.
Anthony Joshua said, look, he knows where to find me. If he wants to find me, if he wants to fight me, come find me. He knows where to find me. Let me know when you're ready to fight. Because I ain't got time to deal with you. This is what Anthony Joshua said last week.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, yeah, but you see, the thing is, yeah, you see, the thing is, when you fight Fury like Billy Joe, these guys play all these mind games to get one over you.
yeah.
Fury's used to being the A side, but against Andy Joshua, he's not the A side, and that's what it is. This is all, this is all mind games with Eddie Hearn and Joshua. All Joshua said to Eddie Hearn, let me know when he signed the fight so I can get training. And up to now, Eddie and Joshua does okay. I'll let you know. Other than that, Joshua just goes around and just lives his life. Just doesn't think about Fury at all.
He
Fury
doesn't.
every
Yeah.
day thinks about Andy Joshua every single day. When he's the big dosser, sign the contract, do this, do that. Andy Joshua don't make nothing. The moment
Well,
the
you know
fight
what?
signed, the moment the
Uh-huh.
fight signed, then actually Joshua will come for him, and then it'll be a wrap because this Andy Joshua is more confident. He's more confident and deliberate, and I feel like he's got the inside game. Not necessarily the outside game, because I think Fury will beat him on the outside, but the inside game, like Steve Cunningham, to give him trouble, bro. You know what I mean? I thought Wilder was gonna blow Fury apart in that first fight. I thought, man, Wilder's gonna do him easy. You know what I mean? I was like, I'm watching the fight. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with this kid? Like, why are you throwing the right hand to the body? And Wilder was doing great. He never listened to Breland in that first fight.
Yeah.
Completely I can't. You heard Wilder after the fight. I'm disappointed. My coach said, so energetic. Yeah, I just
Yeah,
wanted to get in there.
Wilder could have won that first fight.
He
It
could
was a
have
lot.
won that fight
He could have
easy.
won. He could have won that fight if he attacked the body a lot more instead of headhunting. He could have kept Fury stationary. Could have got him out of there, but he didn't do that. He
Yeah.
was too wind up. He got it. He was, he was just too he was just not. He was just wasn't using his boxing brain very well. He was loading up his right too much, which is very predictable, very expected that. So, and Mark Breland told him simple instructions: stop loading and stop looking for one punch, man. All you have to do is use your jab, work behind your jab, attack the body a bit more. Don't leave yourself open, but attack the body a bit more. If you attack the body, you keep him stationary.
Yeah. Wilder's an idiot. But that's what I said to you. He's an idiot. That's what I'm saying. And you're an idiot because the thing is, you pick Malik, but JD's is not stupid. JD's was the one who brought Breland in. It wasn't
Well,
Wilder.
JD's is still with them, by the way. So
Yeah, I know. I can see, but JD's is not dumb. But JD's brought Breland in. JD, because I was the one who brought Breland in because I knew he's Breland is very decorated and Wilder could respect him, but Wilder lost respect for him. And Wilder respects Malik because Malik kisses his ass. That's why.
yeah. But you know
Wilder
what
don't
though?
like it. Yeah,
I
good.
don't know. Maybe Malik, they're buddies and all that. But maybe Malik will tell him behind closed doors. I'm your boy, but I'm gonna tell you fucking up. I'm letting you know right now.
Nah.
So,
Malik don't do that. Malik's one of them guys there. He just gets along to be along. He's not like that. He's not.
well, I tell you what.
Malik's
You
not,
call
he's
him
not
a
a conversation. He's not a very conversational person. Conversational person.
confrontational. Yeah. Well, you know what? You bring Malik on. We got to get him the interview. We got to get him to do an interview and
Nah,
see.
Malik doesn't like that. He don't like that. I talked to Malik many times. I've interviewed many times at the press conferences. Remember again, I've been around all the AJ processes. Only one probably didn't go to was probably the Vladimir one where they kind of barred me out. But I think I went to the Povetkin one. I've been to all the Anthony Joshua's fights in the UK, right? I've been around most of the press conferences, and I can tell you right now that Malik, when he was around there, he didn't say boo to who to boo who. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say nothing. You know what I mean? He was making up in the Joseph Parker because he was sparring. He was telling me that Joseph Parker's gonna win. I go, why? Because he sparred me. I said, shit. I said, what? How's your friend? I said, how you friend? What? Yeah, Wilder's my friend. And he said, well, but he beat you. He goes, yeah, but we cool. We cool. Malik's a cool dude, yeah. But he ain't no, like you see how me and you are. Like me and you would check each other. Like EJ, nah. What Malik's not like that. He's not like that. He's like, all right, cool. All right, cool.
Well, you could be right. You could be right. Because
I know Malik. I know Malik.
He does come off as a yes man type of character.
Yeah.
I mean, he does. He does.
Yeah.
But
when he think about it, right? When he lost against Darius Azora, right? He could have got up. What did he do? He just got up, walked over there.
Wait a minute, he made the count. I thought he made that count.
Of course, he made it count. Yeah. But when the referee pinned him off, did he complain? He didn't even complain.
Well, he mildly complained. He didn't really complain to the extent that he protested. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? He just his personality. He just accepts it. And me and you was like, nah, because we got pride. Malik ain't got pride like that. You know what I mean? Like Wilder looks at him like, I knocked this dude down. And he still wants to be my friend. All right, cool. I'm cool with him. But what I don't understand is there's ways what people do. That's how people soften you up. You know what I mean? It's like
Well, you know what though? Let's be honest though. We see training footage of Wilder and Malik right now. Maybe there's more to it than what we see right now because maybe they are working on other things they don't want us to know until we actually get to the ring. It's possible.
Nah. What you see is what it is. All you see is Malik building up Wilder's confidence. That's what I try to tell you, Dan. That's what you're seeing. Wilder's very shot. His confidence is shot. He has to be because he's lost and he's down. And what you see in Malik's building him up. He's building him up. He's building up his self-esteem. But what you see, the thing is, when you got a fighter who's lost and they're in that position, like first you tell them the real. Say shit, man. You're an idiot. You messed up. You know what I mean? You could have won the fight and you could have did this to the other, but you didn't. But Malik won't tell him that. Malik said, look, man, champ, you good. You know what I'm saying? Look, we just do this, do that. You could win the fight. Go, really? Because yeah, man, build him up. See, that's like Aaron Stonewall. And these are not bad people, but what I'm saying is that they gas you up. You're not built up properly. You understand? So when you're watching that kind of thing, it's all it is just making Wilder believe that he's doing good. Because you look at Wilder's face, he's starting to he's smiling a bit. He's getting a bit more confidence. Because you look at Mark Breland, you barely saw that shit with Mark Breland. You barely saw any pad work.
Well, you also see when the trains with Mark Breland, you see the way he's hitting the pads too. It's like it's totally different. Totally different.
All Mark had him doing is work on his jab and right hand. That's all he had working on because that was the key thing of keeping his distance. And this is what I'm saying. When you got someone like Wilder, the main thing you want is the guy to keep out there. So all that this is what I said, all that rat-a-tat-tat, all that stuff he's doing is a waste of time
I
because you're
don't
gonna
know about that, EJ, because what if you
you're
here's the
heavyweight
thing. You
division, Dan. Dan, this
well, I
not this.
understand that. I understand that. But what I'm saying is this: every fight, when you're in a fight, you can't always dictate the your ring ownership with your distance, because there's going to be at
Dan,
some point, some time, your opponent's going to negate your jab. They're going to come underneath it, and they're going to force you to fight the inside. I think
Dan,
what Malik is preparing Wilder to do in that situation is okay. In a situation like that, if somebody's negating your jab and trying to come inside, you got to learn how to fight the inside, those body shots. I think that's
Dan.
what they're working on, because
Dan,
that's something
I know,
Wilder.
but I know what they work. They're working on bullshit, right? Dan, I'm telling you this, yeah. Heavyweight division is like no other division. You can be outboxing someone, as you seen with Wilder. Guys have been outboxing him for the longest, right? And
Yeah,
then what do? He lands the right hand, the fight's over. Wilder has that. So when you have the X factor like that, then there's nothing really much to change than have him Wilder understanding what punches to throw. Like I already mentioned, quickly I said to you, quote, Steve Cunningham punch. You see, that's
yeah.
the punch he needs to throw, right?
He tried
The
landing
big
that
guy.
punch in that fight. He tried to land that punch in the first and
No,
second
no, no,
fight.
no, no, no. To land that fight, you need to be looking down like you're gonna throw it to the body, and then you bring it over. Wilder didn't throw that. So what I'm saying is this, yeah. You don't need to change too much. What he's doing with Wilder, in effect, he's everything you're seeing. He's barely working on the power shots. He's working on rat attack, tack, moving side to side, boxing and stuff like that. Shit, man, I
Yeah,
don't want to see that shit. Like you ain't gonna have that unless you're fighting some bum. You're fighting the elite fighter who's a better boxer than you. Like it's like why would you try to outbox someone who's better than you? You don't. All you need to do with Fury, you need to move your head. Make sure when you throw your right hand, you land before he lands. That's all that is at the heavyweight division, Dan. Is make
yeah,
sure you get before. The more you throw them rat attack combinations, you're in position to get knocked out. That's all I'm saying.
yeah.
But
Well, you know what? JD got a good point in the chat. He's not a Wilder fan, but he may have a point here. He says, "Look, Scott probably more likely may be the best trainer Wilder's ever had. To be honest with you, it seems like Wilder is actually listening. He's like Wilder's actually seems like he's actually listening, and he actually wants to learn something at least. That may be a good point. He
uh,
may he may gravitate towards Scott. He may listen to him more so than Breland. That's a possibility.
yeah, he is. He definitely listens to Scott. But what I'm saying is that the proof is in the pudding. Some people you get along with, you don't really like them, but they tell you the truth. Like my mom tells me a lot of things I don't really agree with, but my mom's dead on. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree, but my mom will tell me some stuff that I know that when I'm in trouble, I'll hear my mom's voice in situations. Mark
Yeah,
Breland, you don't really like him, but he's telling you dead on. He's telling you, you see what I'm trying to say to you? Because when the fight gets in there, you're not gonna land all that stuff there. You're not gonna land all that. No one's gonna stand there and let you do what you did with them pies, and they're not gonna let you do that. They're not.
yeah,
You're lucky you get two. You have to wear them down to get even into that
yeah.
state.
I like.
And,
You know what?
and
That's a
then
good point.
What you ain't seeing is that realistically Malik should have boxing gloves on and be trying to hit him, and
Well,
then
that's
you
all.
would have seen
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say though. I think we need to see him in some sparring sessions with some guys and
okay.
to see how well he does. I mean,
Okay.
usually they don't tape those as often like they did back in
There
the
you
day.
go.
But
He gonna get hit. He gonna get hit, and because you see his hands are low, and now someone's trying to hit you, he gonna get hit because. And you see when Wilder get hit, his ear's gonna start bleeding. See, you don't know his ear ain't gonna start bleeding. His
I
jaw,
found
his
that
jaw.
I found that bit bizarre because I never seen anybody get bled in
Yeah,
the
but
ear
that's
with
where
a boxing
your
glove.
brain, that's where your brain's getting caved in, man. Your
I
head's
don't
getting
know.
caved in.
That is very bizarre to see that. Not implying
Nah,
anything, but
nah,
I thought
I've
it was
seen shit.
bizarre.
I see shit. I see some shit like that. I see some shit like
Well,
that. I see some guy get hit, get stumped in the face here, and I see stuff ooze flew out for their ears because that's when the overflow in your brain. They can't get enough blood out for your nose, so it starts flowing out for your ears. Yeah,
okay.
he was getting his ass smashed up, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. See, there's nothing we don't know how he's gonna react when he get punched in the face now, because his body is reacting funny, and we don't know here's the reason why the Fury say gonna beat him, because we don't know the residual damage of that beating has did to him psychologically. You see what I'm saying? That's what I
Yeah.
said to you. He needs to move the bloody head, and his hands need to be up because
Well,
at
he's
least
moving his head now. We see that in
no,
the training. He's
no,
moving his
no, no,
head.
no, 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 not the way I want it, not the way he should be, not the way he should be,
Okay. Okay.
not the way he should
Sure.
be. Because what he's doing is like, see one example, right? Malik will throw a punch here and he'll move side to side, but Malik's so close. You know what I mean? Realistically, Fury, you need to be throwing from a distance, and then
That's
he
true.
needs to be
That's a
able to
good point.
counter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say though. That's something I would like to see though. I like to see Malik train him at a distance where he would fight Fury, because Fury is a
thank you.
very long rangey fighter.
See,
Let's
even
see.
you know that.
Yeah,
See,
you need to. Yeah, that's a good point because I want to see that in the next section. Okay, I'm gonna train as if I'm Tyson Fury. I'm gonna be prepped up as him. I'm gonna fight at his distance. I want to see how well you do. That's what we're gonna be working.
Yeah. That's right. And another thing is, well, Wilder's legs are too wide apart. That's why
Yeah,
he's losing power. His legs need to be a bit closer, and that will help generate the power. Your legs are way too wide, man. Way too. Almost like you're doing a split. So when your legs are that wide, then you give up height.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. But in this situation, he could give up his height because he's fighting a taller man. He needs to slip
No, he,
underneath those
he he
shots.
makes himself even shorter when he does that. That's another thing he don't understand.
Yeah,
Your legs are so wide, but that's what he's been relying on his right hand so much. That's why his legs are wide like that. You know what I mean? And you see, you could legs to be a bit smaller, and then you could be a bit more tidy, and then you'll generate power, have more power in your shots. And they won't be so wide. They'll be more neater. If you look at what's his name again? You even look at what's his name, Mark Breland. Bro, his legs weren't that wide. He just had it in balanced.
yeah,
Wilder's legs when I look at Wilder's legs, I was like, I can see when I look at Wilder, I see everything coming down the pipe. Everything. I see when he throws a hook. I can see when he throws a right hand. I can see everything because it's all telegraphed. He's like he pulls it back before he throws it. You see
yeah.
what I'm
He
saying?
telegraphs it, but at the same time, he throws it with precision and speed. And it's hard
Oh
to,
yeah.
to yeah,
Well,
it's
yeah.
hard to
Hey,
parry it.
well, after that's after you get tired fighting him. But I'll give him Wilder credit though. He's conditioned to go the rounds, but as you've seen, his body, getting hit. He's never been hit like that before. He got beat up, man. He got beat up badly. He got beat up really badly. And the funny thing about it, Wilder, you've been stretchy. I want a body. I want a body. Talking on that
Well,
Red Sea.
it's funny though. It's funny because we were saying the same thing about Joshua, the beating he took from Ruiz. We didn't think he could come back the same guy, but he came. To be fair though, he did box in the rematch against Ruiz. He didn't want to engage with him. He fought a smart fight.
Yeah, smart fight.
But at the same time, let's be fair though. That fight changed Anthony Joshua psychologically because if you look at the
Nah,
Pulev,
nah, nah,
yeah, it
nah,
did. Yes, it did. Yes,
nah,
if you're in that Pulev fight, he dominated the fight, but there was
nah.
there
Nah.
was times there was times in that fight that he could have ended that fight early on, but he
Well,
was
he's,
hesitant.
wait,
Wait.
wait,
He
wait.
was hesitant. Yeah, he was hesitant to do it because he didn't want another Andy Ruiz moment. So I think that's still lingering in Josh's mind. Hopefully he got over that now because that was long ago at this
No,
point.
no, you're right. But you're right, Dan. His confidence wasn't the same, and that's what I'm trying to say. Your confidence. It takes you a couple of fights to gain your confidence back, as
That's
because
true.
you don't.
That's true.
Yeah, and that's what I said with Wilder. When you look at Wilder, Dan, you're looking at a very insecure and unconfident guy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And Malik is exploiting that and putting them clips up and making money.
Yeah. Fair enough. But hey, you know what? I got to get off, man. I'm gonna go ahead and
Yeah,
take
yeah.
care of
The
some things.
fight's
Just
on.
watch
Yeah.
this.
By the way, the
Yeah.
fight's on, people. Lyric, the undercard has started. I'll drop the link, Dan. I'm not gonna do a live on it. I'm gonna rest
Okay.
up. But Dan, I really appreciate you letting me coming over. Shout out to everyone in the chat.
All right, man. Thanks for having you on as always, man. Hey, shout out to the chat, man. Thank you everybody for joining. D Style, W Rouse, what you call Marshall Smirk, my new sub. JD, as always, man. It's a pleasure. Who else is in here? Captain Alpozino, Ones. Shout out to Ones. A lot of UK guys are here. That's good stuff. DGO, Hold Up the Mighty, Money Man. Get the smoke was here for momentarily. I think that's about it. I got you guys. Oh yeah, and Hamed as always. Okay, guys, I'm about to end this broadcast. We are out. Peace.